Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Captain Coder here on this beautiful Monday morning for me. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. I hope you're having yourself a beautiful day. I hope it's a beautiful Monday for you. I hope it's a beautiful Monday for you. We got a new project this week. I'm so excited, folks. I'm so excited. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do, but then I thought about it. And I decided I want to do the skill tree. So, do a skill tree because in the past, in Adventure Quest, we didn't do any sort of class system. So like you couldn't pick like a wizard, warrior, rogue. And I'm going, oh well, a skill tree could totally be like your multi-class system. All built into one. So you don't have to have classes. It's all built into the skill tree. So everyone has access to everything as long as they level up in the right way. So we're doing a skill tree this week, folks. We're going to do a skill tree. But good morning, everybody. Shiny, happy Monday, my friend. How the heck are you? And we got MMO Pug here as well. MMO Pug, I appreciate all of your support, my friend. I absolutely cannot thank you enough for all that you've done. All that you've done hanging out here. Just making me give me those warm and fuzzy feelings. Give me those warm and fuzzy feelings. But good morning, everybody. So happy to be here. So happy to be here. I hope you're happy to be here too. But thank you for joining me this morning. Absolutely. Oh, let me check my break. I hope we got my break timer set up. Break. Yes, all right. It should automatically reset now when the stream starts. That was an issue in the past. That was a horrible, painful issue in the past. I'm hoping we got that fixed. I have some more ideas too on how to make it automatically reset after stretching because I can't remember that stuff. I'm not. Look. Captain Coder's a simpleton, folks. If you didn't know this already, Captain Coder's a simpleton. That means I'm a ton of simple. I can't do much. Nice try, Shiny. Nice try. Hang on. Shouldn't other people be able to do it? MMO Plugs, I think it broke with a hiccup yesterday. So I thought I set it up so as soon as the stream started, it would set it to like -5 minutes. So that way when I actually got to the start, it would work. Let's see here. That one should work. The break one should work for anyone. Oh, I think it has a 30-second timeout. Add points. Nice try, Shiny. You got to do add points, Shiny Games, then the number of points you want to add. You got it mixed up. My friend. You're close. Let's see the break timer. For whatever reason I set it to a 60-second cooldown. We'll set it on 15 seconds. That doesn't make. I don't even know that a cooldown makes sense. I don't mind. I don't got any nefarious people in my chat very often. Only, a couple times. I've had a nefarious person or two in the chat. Mooniz, good morning, my friend, or good afternoon to you. I think it's a good afternoon to you, Mooniz. Going fabulously well, my friend. It's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful day here. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in my neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor? Mooniz, it's beautiful. How are you, my friend? How the heck are you? It's so nice to see you. Could someone try the break command? I think it should work for anyone. Shady, could you try it again for me? I'd appreciate, just to see if it works. Lance over on YouTube. Yeah, thank you, Shady, for testing it. I was pretty sure anyone could do it for me. Good morning, Lance. Yeah, work for this, an extra shift this morning, 2 hours ago. You got it, my friend. You got it. You can get through it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it if you just put your mind into it. That's right. Moona says, I'm doing great. Morning, Shady, Lancey, MMO Pug. That's right, everybody. We're here. We're happy. We're having a beautiful day. Any day you get a chance to code is a beautiful day, isn't that right? Jax, welcome back to the crew again. It's nice to see you, Jax. Smab here again on day one. Smab making it day one. It's so nice to see you, Smab. How the heck are you, Smab? How are you, Jax? It's so wonderful to see all the whole crew's here, folks. We got the whole crew. It's awesome to see everybody here. I appreciate you being here. The captain, you guys giving the captain the warm and fuzzy feelings, and I love it. I love having you guys here. It's a beautiful day. What are we working on? Well, last week we did this. Well, as you guys may or may not know, we're sort of gearing up. We're gearing up for this Dungeon Crawler Jam. We're gearing up for this Dungeon Crawler Jam. I'm super excited about this. Artifice RL. Welcome back, my friend. Artifice. It's so nice to see you once again, my friend. It's so nice. Happy Monday. But yeah, we're gearing up for this Dungeon Crawler Jam 2023, which starts in 18 days, 21 hours, so 19-ish days. 19-ish days. Look, Shiny, it's a trick. It's a trick. Look, 21 hours. It's really 19 days. I'm not going to be able to start on the 1st anyway because I'm going to be traveling. But we're doing this is my spring break right here. This right here is my spring. It just so happens to fall on my spring break. So we're going to be doing crazy streaming that week, I think. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but my weekends I've been trying to see, is it possible, can the captain do longer streams than 3 hours, 4 hours? I've been doing some 6-hour streams. I think I can do it. We're gonna see if we're gonna put the captain through the ringer on this one here. Art says, my Monday has been eventful. I fought a fire today and now I'm exhausted, but I need to work out still. Fighting fire, that sounds intense. Are you a firefighter, Artifice? If you're not a firefighter, I'm really, even firefighters are amazing people, by the way. What a incredible job to try and, to be fighting a fire. That sounds like that sounds scary. That sounds terrifying. But yes, April 2nd through April 7th, we're gonna be streaming. You're a farmer. Oh, gotcha. Farmer. Well, I'm glad I'm not glad everything's okay. I don't know if everything's okay. I hope everything worked out for you. I hope. That sounds terrifying, especially as a farmer. You could lose everything. Anyone could lose everything in a fire, but as a farmer, that feels horrifying. Got it out. Glad to hear it. My cousin was a farmer. I have a cousin, my cousin Bubba. Everyone knows, you have a cousin named Bubba? Yeah, his real name isn't Bubba, but we always called him Bubba. So I have a cousin Bubba, and they lived on a farm, and that was always a cool thing. Anyway, Streamathon, April 2nd to 7th. I'm not going to do the full 7 days. We're going to see if we can get it done in 6 days. This is the Dungeon Crawler Jam 2023. We're gearing up for that. So we've implemented a couple things. We implemented a crafting system. Ravir, it's nice to see you. We did a crafting system just to see how it worked. This I'm going to have to touch up a little bit. I really want to go back and clean this up a little bit. But we implemented a very simple crafting system. I call it shapeless crafting. Then last week we implemented a grid-based inventory system, so click and drop between different containers. This was cool. I was really proud of this. We did this in 5 days. Awesome stuff. All right, so on the Discord, someone suggested, there's a lot of suggestions over here, and there's a lot of good ones, there's a lot of great ones. So we did the inventory system. The tech skill tree, I think, is a really good addition to what we're doing here. And so I'm thinking we're gonna do a skill tree, because I don't have I love games that give you choices as far as classes and go. So some classes, but instead of doing that, it's gonna be more along the lines of a skill tree to where anyone can be anything. So you're not restricted to what you can choose based on your class. You can always choose to train in anything. So we're gonna do a skill tree system here. And I'm not entirely sure what that means, but that's what our goal is today. Our goal today is what does it mean to do a skill tree? We're gonna do a design document, project scope. We're define our learning goals, what we want to get done with this. I'm gonna try and make it a repackagable library. MMO Pug says, my son is a Bubba. When we started fostering him at just 10 weeks old, he had a name that totally didn't fit, so we called him Bubba. Then we adopted him and still call him Bubba, but changed his given name. Gotcha. Yeah. My cousin Bubba, I don't know if I suspect he doesn't go by it anymore. I haven't spoken to him in maybe a year or so. Anytime I talk to him, I think of him as Bubba though. But Nick, that's how nickname works. My nickname was Billy Bob Joe John Thornton III. Billy Bob Joe John Thornton III. That's what I went by for a long time. There's still people out there that call me Billy Bob. But Billy Bob was my nickname for a really long time. Oh, that coffee's good, folks. That bean water's delicious this morning. It's good for me. Let me take a sip of regular water. Then we got bean water, we got regular water. I call this life water. It's just regular water. You need it to be alive. So we're gonna do some skill trees. I kind of wanted to look at some other skill trees just to get a little bit of a thought process in my mind of exactly what I want. Not exactly, but sort of what I want. And I was thinking something along this line here. I love the way this looks, or maybe this, right? So you could have different sets of, so you have some quote unquote starting classes. Dramulks, welcome back, my friend. How was your weekend, Dramulks? It's so nice to see you. Good morning, good afternoon. I think it's good evening for you, is it? Or is it good morning? Good afternoon? I don't know, Dram. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We're going to work on a skill tree, though. We're working on a skill tree. That's what I thought. See, look, I got it right. Look, the captain can remember things. Shaggy says Path of Exile skill tree is so intimidating but cool looking. Which one's Path of Exile? Path of Exile skill tree. I have some ideas on how to do it. This is like the Final Fantasy skill node thing. This is intense. This is intense, but would be really interesting to do. Designing the system to do this, I don't think is that hard, but coming up with all the things that I'd put on it, I think would be particularly challenging. Assassin's Creed's newer game skill trees look pretty cool. Let's look at Assassin's Creed skill tree. This skill tree, why are these all tiny? Give me some bigger pictures. Why are these pictures so terrible? But I was thinking something more along this line. So you have sort of like some starting points, and then those branch off into some other skills. And I also like that they come off into these other areas. Last Epoch has a pretty simple passive skill tree. Let's look at Last Epoch skill tree. I just want to look at some to make sure that like I have there's different types of skill trees, and so this is one where I can't like do a super general thing. I am going to make a library for it. I'm going to try and have it be a single system. This is sort of, something kind of like this would be good too. I like this. The Reddit on Road 2. These look nice. These look nice too. Let me see. Saying Reddit on Road 2. This one. So like little things where you could like, acquire different skill sets like that. So what I think I like, Horpel, welcome to the chat. Horpel says Horizon has a nice one. Horizon skill tree. We got to keep in mind, so I can't get too crazy with it. The idea is I'm building a system to allow me to do it. Oh, is this the Horizon skill system? Okay, so this one's super simple. This is another idea. So it like sort of goes down. You have like your different like quote unquote classes, right? And then those have just like simple skill trees that like lead into each other. So it doesn't, not a ton of branching out. And I think this is what I'm gonna end up implementing in my, so in the dungeon crawler, I can't get crazy with it, right? I only have a week to do it. So coming up with all the different things that would be in there can be a bit challenging. Dramo says there are many design decisions when it comes to skill tree, most of which are passive traits. What Path of Exile does and other games where they have this overly complicated skill tree is a bit overkill. In the end, they add nothing but bloatware to character development. Hundreds of tiny nodes that could be made into 2-3 general nodes just so you can get a main node, which actually makes a difference. Yeah, so I think I want to keep in my actual implementation, in the game I end up making, I want it to be relatively simple. Something kind of like this looks nice. QG says Jedi Fallen Order had a pretty small tree with no major branches. Gotcha. The right one is from the current game. So like this one, something simple without a lot of nodes, right? So something simple without a lot of nodes. I do like this. Like maybe something like this. Something like this feels like it would look really cool. The implementation between this one and this one, I think, are identical. It just has to do with what your UI looks like. Let's see, Jedi Fallen Order skill tree. Take a look here. Yeah, this looks cool. I like the way this looks. Ooh, that's a pretty cool looking skill tree. That's simple with no crazy major nodes. Okay, so let's think about how we would do this. So one thing that is really important in the design decision for me, I think, Artifice says there are a couple of cross-class skill paths on the Assassin's Creed's Origin one. Gotcha. So that's sort of the thought I need to have when I'm building out the actual like logic for how the skill tree works. When it says, wouldn't any skill tree be kind of the same? A node would have requirements to be met. They might be other nodes or other unlocks. If you make that generic, then you could make any type of the skill trees you've looked at. Yeah, so that's right. No, that's right, Muniz. So that's why I'm saying like the design decision sort of says, if I make a generic one, right? I make a generic one. We have this. So like, how general do I want to make it? Do I want it to just be so abstract that it's just a generic graph? Do I want it to have it be a directed acyclic graph? So one of the things about this graph here is that none of the outer nodes really lead back. So everything is outgoing. Everything is an outgoing node. It shouldn't be possible to come back in. So it comes down to like, it's going to be a graph-esque structure that says, okay, I have a thing, it has some requirements and it provides some ability or some tag or something along those lines. And so I'm going to create like a generic idea up top. And then again, we're going to explore the UI toolkit, I think, one more time, see how can we make it so that we could potentially do node-based things like this. I don't know if this, I'm not sure if the UI toolkit in my mind can handle exactly this, but you're right, Muniz, the logical backend part of this should hopefully be very similar. They're all structured the same. It's all about different layouts. Corpil says, not necessarily, nodes can be accessible from the start and form bonuses if you activate the right ones. That's right. So it's like, do we start off with a single tree where everything branches off that, or there are multiple trees? So like in that case, it's not that big of a difference, but there is that one little thought decision that has to be made. Arthur says, that is what I was about to ask. It would be using a graph. Now I'm wondering why it is called a skill tree, not a skill graph. I think it's because in general, in most games, it's a tree. So all trees are graphs, but not all graphs are trees. So a tree is a graph that doesn't, that just goes outward. It doesn't loop back on itself, right? So that's often what you call like a directed acyclical graph is often called a tree. Shaggy says it depends on the game plan and you want to serve with the tree. Yeah, so I want to build a generic, a semi-general skill tree system, Shady. And so we're going to see if we can come up with the general idea of it as we go. Or not as we go, but today. Today is sort of like our design decision today. What do I want to learn? What is the scope of the document? How do we get that working together? And it says, I think they went with tree because they were thinking of binary trees when they first made them. That's exactly right, Dramel, that's what I think. Mooney says, Artifice, because it looked like trees when games started creating them, you choose one thing and that branches off into different. Yeah, so a graph and like I said, every tree is a graph, but not all graphs are trees. And so the skill trees started out as, trees. So this here is essentially a tree where this is your root node here and it branches out like this. I think this is the type of tree that I want, although this here would make it not a tree. Right here makes it not a tree because there's a cycle here. Anyway, so skill tree, skill graph. I think a lot of people don't, the word graph does not invoke a structure like this to non-computer science people. I think that's a big part of it. But we're gonna hop in here, we're gonna design. So I had to get mid-sentence, my body needed some coffee, I apologize for that. My body needed it. Marisol, thank you for following, Marisol. Welcome to the crew, my friend, Marisol. You're here with us. Thank you for the follow, Marisol. Marisol, happy Monday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. Thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. Dremel says, all in all, skill trees do the same thing. You click it, you expect something to change, either be it some passive bonus to stats, a alternative for a skill, or a straight up new ability unlocked. Yeah, so you sort of have like each node is like a thing you're going to unlock, and then each branch is sort of like a set of requirements to get there. So there's like requirements to acquire. Horpel, Horpel, welcome to the crew. I'd like to thank you this morning. Horpel, Horpel, I welcome you to Captain Coder's Academy. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. I welcome you today. We are learning to code and grow as one. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Horpel, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Good morning to you, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. I am Captain Coder. I am a computer science educator. I teach computer science and programming to ages 10 to 14. The school I work at is 10 to 14. I teach computer science and programming to everyone, anyone I can reach. So if you have any questions, programming related or otherwise, do not hesitate to ask. I love hearing questions. Additionally, backseat coding is encouraged on this stream. That's how we learn new things. That's how I learn new things. I've only been doing Unity stuff. I've only been using C# for, 19 months. I've only been doing Unity for about, 3 months, a little bit longer than that if you count all the hacky stuff I did. I've only been learning Unity since the beginning of January, end of December. So if you see something, say something. Let me know. We are doing backseat coding is totally allowed here. Absolutely highly encouraged. But we're gonna hop into a design document here. We're gonna see if we can't figure out exactly what we want. All right, so let's open up the doc cam, folks. Got our doc cam here. Let's see. Dramok says, but starting to build a skill tree without having a base attribute stat system or skill system will be a tad bit difficult. That's the trick. But I'm curious to see how this will go. Making a skill tree system modular independent is a bit of a challenge. I think I have an idea. Yeah, so that was part of the thing for me. Is like,
pay attention.
I'm trying to pay attention, Mr. Natural. I'm paying attention. I'm sorry. Or are you talking to the people in the back? That's right. Everyone in the back, pay attention. That's right, folks. All right. So I think we can do it. That's one of my learning goals for this is how far can I push the generic system in C# to make it modular? And maybe we can't do it, right? Pushchoice says skill tree these days seem to be mostly passive. John says sometimes the answer is not always to make modular and or independent. I know. Not always, but we're gonna give it a shot. I'm really curious to see if I can do it. It seemed like a fun way to go, and we're gonna see if it just turns into, a very specific skill tree or not, or how much extra work. So the question is, if I have this graph structure under the hood, at the end of the day, how much effort do you have to put it on top of it to make it work within a different system? That's sort of the question we're gonna be exploring a little bit. So what do I wanna learn? What are my learning goals? So this is our skill tree system. Okay, so we have a skill tree system, folks. Skill tree system. What are my learning goals for this project? Learning goals. So one of the things I want to do, one of the things I would like to explore as my learning goals. What are they? What are we going to learn? So one of my learning goals is, again, I'm still learning UI toolkit stuff. We want to explore the UI toolkit some more. Scooby-Doo, welcome to Lurk Mode, my friend. At Captain Coder's Academy, we know you have many choices, many places you can lurk on Twitch, and we appreciate you choosing to lurk here. Remember, at any point, if you wanna come on back, you are always welcome here, my friend. You are always welcome here. All right, so what are our learning goals? I want to look at making a graph. So a graph. So for anyone who doesn't really know, the graph data structure, visualization. I've never done this. Structure, visualization. right? So one of the things I want to do is, again, this is more UI toolkit stuff, is I want to be able to have nodes on the screen and have them automatically link up with each other. So my end goal, one of my goals is in the UI builder. In the UI builder in Unity, I want to have a system where you can just drop your nodes in. So you could drag and drop some nodes in, and then these, you say, oh, well, the nodes are going to connect this way. This one's going to be, maybe strength buff. This one's going to, and then this is the dependency here, and have it draw those lines automatically for you. So you can say, like, design your UI, and then it will automatically start adding in those lines and stuff for you. So that's one of the things I want to do. Graph data structure visualization is something I've never done. I've seen it done. I have an idea of how to do it, but I've never done it myself. Sir Black Soul says, we're starting the skill system. That's correct, Sir Black Soul. We're going to be doing a skill tree system here for the game jam that I'm going to be doing. I've decided that the way I'm going to do sort of my quote unquote class system is going to be skill tree based. Every character in the game, maybe you just play a main character. I'm not sure yet if they're going to have a party or if it's going to be one character. Your character, as they sort of level up, they get to build their path using the skill tree. John says, should be easy if each skill has a list of child nodes, then those lines get drawn from the main object toward the child objects. Yeah, so we're going to see Dremel. I've never done it. So I'm excited to see if I can get it done. The other thing that I'm looking forward to learning about is really exploring. I don't know why the word really needs to be here. I do understand generics, but exploring more generic types for generalization. I don't know, just generalize, have a Z in it, generalization in library. So I want to really focus on how, not getting too generic, but can I generalize this enough? Like you were saying, Dramos, of like, oh, well, you're going to have, prerequisites and requisites. So you have what's called a predicate that you need to satisfy to get that item in the skill tree. So what does that look like? What does that look like in a generic library where we don't necessarily know the end goal, like our end skill tree, we don't know just yet. That's the idea here, is like, can I use generics to generalize a skill tree library? I don't know if I can do it or not. I want to see if I can. Serverless tools can still be complex with dynamic distribution based on how many nodes you have, etc. So they don't overlap in everything, but excited to see how you do it. Me too. I don't know all the details, but my goal here is to see, can we do graph data structure visualization using a skill tree that still looks reasonable. I do think we want to have some positioning so the user will be able to drag in nodes and specify, oh, this thing happens to be a node type. All right, so these are the sort of two things. So this is with UI toolkit specifically. So I want to use the UI, again, continue my journey with UI toolkit. And then my bonus here is I didn't do this on the last one. USS, so these are style sheets, Unity style sheets, variables. I haven't used those yet. I didn't use them on the last project. I wanted to, I didn't get to it. Variables. So this is all about more templatization. All right. Dremel says, those generics could serve a purpose of a simple bool inside the method. You could put your custom thing, but in the end, that generic method would return true or false if you can access and said node. It's just a simple example. I don't know either. No. So you end up with a predicate. So there's a type called predicate of T. And this is a thing, this is a function that takes a T and returns a bool. So in your system, it's like in the actual RPG system, how can we utilize this to make it so that it's still serializable using your own script box? So the idea is you have a game sort of already a little bit, and you're like, okay, well, I want a skill tree added to this game. Will this thing work with it? I don't know. We're gonna see if we can get there. Maybe this is gonna be a big old failure. You have a predicate. No, I'm saying predicate is an existing class in C#. We're going to use the predicate class. It already exists in C#. The idea is like, okay, what does the type T need to have to make it work? So what is this sort of type T? So we're doing like this high level, It's maybe too generalized. We're gonna find out if it's too generalized or not. This might be one. Zeramox, you know me. I like to make my systems. I like to build up these systems. So this is a huge test for me. Is like, can we actually build a system? Is it worth building a skill tree system, or is this something that really, really needs to be 100% dependent on the game itself? And I don't know the answer to that. I want to explore that space. So is a skill tree system specific to a game, or can you have it be a little bit more generic than that? I don't know. What are the the question, what are the reusable components of a skill tree system? What are the reusable components of a skill tree system? What are those? I don't know. We're going to find out. I hope that makes sense. We may find out, well, there are very few reusable systems. And if that's the case, that's the case. But that's what I want to explore. This is the burning question. Can we reuse stuff? You know me, I like to reuse all the stuff I do. John says, I can say one thing for sure, at least in my experience at work, and that is that they are mostly dependent on the current project and that's being worked on. Yeah, so there's this interesting thing of why don't any programming languages provide a graph data structure that has binary search built into depth first search? Because I think it's it's too general. You have to do it to your specific problem. We're gonna find out though. All right, so scope. How much time do we have? So here's our scope. How much time? So we have 6 days to work on this. 6 days. So I'll be streaming Monday through Thursday and then Saturday, Sunday. So we got 6 days for our version 0. 6 days for our version 0. We're going to see if we can get it done in 6 days. I'm estimating, I've been streaming a little, I have to stream less now actually because of daylight savings time. I don't observe daylight saving time, so my work is actually starting an hour earlier. So we're gonna have a little less time Monday and Wednesday than I normally would. Monday, maybe Tuesday, Thursday as well, but I don't think that's gonna be affected as much. And then probably I'll do 6 hours on Saturday, Sunday again, just to continue building it up. And so I estimate half my time. So that's 6 plus 8. 6 hours plus 8 hours, what's that? 14 hours. All right, so I think 14 hours is a reasonable amount of time to say that's how much time I'm gonna be spending on this project doing actual coding stuff, not just chatting and hanging out and talking. Pink Petey, I want to thank you for following me today. Camera, can't you stay on me? I'd like to say Pink Petey, I'd like to thank you greatly for being at Captain Coder's Academy. Pink Petey, I welcome you today to the crew. How are you? Pink Petey, is it Pink Petey or P-Ink Petey? How do you pronounce it? I want to know. Welcome aboard, my friend. Happy Monday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. I welcome you to the Academy, my friend. Welcome aboard. We are here. We are designing a skill tree system here that we're hoping to use in a upcoming project. Oops, I bumped my camera there. So we have about 14 hours. But if you have any questions, program related or otherwise, do not hesitate to ask. Questions are so encouraged. I love hearing your questions. Backseat coding is welcome. That's how I'm designing the system. I don't know exactly how it's going to work. I'm really enjoying all the feedback everyone's giving me here because it's really helping me think about, okay, how is this even possible? Can we even do this thing? We're going to find out. What is the generalization that we can do on this? I don't know. But at the end of the day, we need a graph, right? At the end of the day, there's sort of a graph that you need to acquire things. And the way I want this to work, right? So we have a skill tree. Here's the scope. We'll have one start node. All right, so you get one start node. It's going to be one start node like this. Every node can have outgoing branches. All right, so every node, nodes have children. All right, so the children, you have one start node. Nodes can have children, but nodes can also have additional requirements. So it's not just that you've satisfied all of the previous things to get there. I think the edges themselves are going to have some minor requirements as well. So it's not just like you have 10 points, you can spend it any way you want on the tree. I think there's going to be a potential for other requirements to unlock a node, right? So let's say this is sort of like the generic, this is like the hero node. H is for hero, folks. This is your hero, folks. Welcome to lurk mode, Shiny. Gotta get it done. Get it done. Get it in there. Anyone doesn't know. Real quick, everybody, before you go, Shiny, I gotta give you a shout out. Shiny, folks. Shiny. Incredible, fabulous indie game developer working on the ultimate 2D space shooter, Escape Space. You can see those beautiful graphics on the screen, my friends. You can wishlist it on Steam. Gotta check it out. Check out Shiny's stream. Amazing indie developer, folks. Give him a little love. Hit that little heart. You see that heart on the screen there? You see that heart on your chat? You see that little heart? Click it. Shiny deserves it. You know you love Shiny. You got to give him some love, folks. Click that link. Then, after you've got that little heart, once you're loving it, click over to Steam. Go over to Steam, folks. Scroll on down. Add that to your wish list because this is a 2D shoot 'em up game. This game's going to be awesome, folks. It's going to be fabulous. Shiny, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. I love, love, love what you're doing. Mooney says, I wasn't following. I thought I was. Well, now you are. Look, Mooney, problem solved. Problem solved. You're welcome. You're welcome. You are welcome, folks. All right. So the sort of scope of it, all right, is I don't want to be too general. Every node, so you have nodes, and then you have to, like the character will have to have satisfied a single node to get to something else. But there are also like additional requirements each node might have. So to get there, you still have to have this, but the additional requirement could be like, you know, strength, level, you know, what do we say? Like kills required. You might have to have done like 20 kills to get this. So maybe there's like a bloodlust thing here. Maybe there was a bloodlust feature here. You can get it, it branches off from here, and once you have bloodlust, that branches off to something else, but the requirement to achieve it is gonna be, you know, the next one would be kills, 40 kills, plus, you know, 5 skill points. So there's this idea of nodes, node children, nodes have requirements to achieve them, but the main idea is also skill points. I want my skill tree to have skill points that you spend on that tree. So a little bit messy here. It's a little bit messy. G says, okay, lurking here for a bit, making lunch. Enjoy your lunch, G. It's so nice to hear you. So nice to hear. Nodes, requirements, and costs. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Lobsterkovic, Lobsterkovic. Lobsterkovic has followed me, and I'd like to say thanks to you, Lobsterkovic. Thank you for the follow, my friend. Thank you for the follow, my friend. Lobsterkovic, I welcome you to Captain Coder's Academy. Welcome, 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 my friend. Lobsterkovic, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Happy Monday to you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. No matter where you happen to be in the world, I hope you're having a good time. Lobsterkovic, oh no, what was that? I regret everything. I'm so sorry, Lobsterkovic. Everyone for having to listen to such a terrible song. 50 points to all of you. I'm so sorry that you had to endure that pain. Big Juicy says, yo, Big Juicy, so nice to see you today. Welcome back, my friend. How the heck are you? Jibster, nodes have requirements and cost. Exactly. I like that. Okay. So our scope here. Let me go to the next page real quick. Scope, and I ran out of room. The scope's feeling a little bit big, but scope is a tree here. So the scope might not be quite right, but Nodes, okay, so one starting node. Each node has children. Each node has costs. Has costs plus requirements. Okay. All right. What do we got here? We got Sir Black Soul says, worries the madness settles in once you watch for long enough. No worries. The madness settles in once you watch long enough. That's right. Horpel, a link between two nodes has the requirement and cost. I believe that's correct. So we have to ask the question, does our system support like multiple incoming children? Horpil, the nodes give just the ability, gotta get some work done. Welcome to Lurk Mode, Moonniz. Get some work done. Folks, we got another important person here. If you're not following Moonniz as well. Moonniz, my man Moonniz, another incredible streamer, is working on a Metroidvania game codenamed Moonvania. I hope it's okay if I call it Moonvania. Incredibly good developer, amazing Unity developer. He's taught me so much about Unity, just about everything I know about Unity I've learned from Moonniz. I've only been doing Unity for about 3 months and he's taught me so much. He's taught me so much. QG, welcome to the crew. I'd like to thank you for following me. We've got QG in our midst and he's got a lot to do. We've got QG in our midst and I'd like to welcome you to the crew, my friend. Welcome aboard. How are you? How are you? How are you? QG, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. QG says, how do you know I have a lot to do? I meant that we have a lot of work to do. Sometimes, improvising songs is tough. QG, we all got a lot of work to do though. Life is busy. Big Juicy says, we using a SO for each node, maybe a custom inspector to visualize the nodes and make prereq nodes. That's a good question. So if you're first time here, I like to do things independent of Unity first, build a little library system to do it. And then we go into Unity and say, okay, how can we use this library in Unity now to build on top of it and utilize it? So the idea is, can we abstract? This is why I wasn't sure. This is Dramox's concern is, can we actually abstract this one into something that's separate? Tawny does stuff, got timed out for using too many caps. I'm so sorry, Tawny. You'd think you would know by now. Tawny said, I don't want to miss this. Tawny, I'm so sorry. My Stream Elements bot got you. Maybe I should take that one off. Tawny says, Stream Elements, I'll get you, my pretty, and your little bots too. Mwah! But yeah, QG, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. I'm Captain Coder. I am a computer science educator, computer science teacher. I teach programming and computer science at a school for ages 10 to 14. If you have any questions, program related or otherwise, do not hesitate to ask. Here, this stream is dedicated. We do a new project almost every week. This week, we're trying to do a skill tree system, but we try to learn something new every week, and backseat coding is so encouraged here. So encouraged, because I learn so much when people question what I'm doing. I can't promise I'll always use what you suggest, but it makes me think. Stop and make me think. That's something I want you to do. Okay. And if I missed something in the chat, folks, a lot happened there. Do not hesitate to post it again. I may have just missed it. Big G says, the reason I asked was the course I took on Dialog Choice used nodes as well. Yeah, so nodes is a big deal in computer science, trees and nodes. G says, I would, but I'm a fintech programmer, so while I can program, my game dev knowledge is still a work in progress. That's how I feel, QG. I've only been doing game dev since the beginning of January, a little bit at the end of December, beginning of January. I'm a computer science teacher, like I said. My students asked me to teach a Unity course, and so I said, okay, well, if I'm going to teach Unity, we got to teach it right, because I don't like for the most part, I find tutorials on Unity not that great, teaching lots of bad practice. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to have to learn Unity so that way I can teach it my way. I can teach it my way. So that's sort of where we're at here. I built some class projects on stream, and now I'm just having fun. Now I'm just having a lot of fun learning how to do each of these things. We're in a start node. Each node has children. Each node has cost required. Oh, so someone said, shouldn't the arrow contain the requirements? And I'm not sure. So the question is, should I allow, if I have a skill tree that looks like this, all right, so if I have a skill tree that looks like this, say I have a skill tree, so the sorry, let me get the skill tree. Say I have a skill tree that looks like this. And this is one of the challenges with generalizing this. I'm really bad at drawing, folks. This is a diamond. I was struggling with that. But say I have a skill tree that goes up like this. Okay, so we have these arrows. And this one comes across here. Should this be, so the question is, should this be allowed? Should this be allowed? And the second question is one, should, this is an important decision we have to make. Should we allow this type of node? All right, so this node here, should we allow it so you can get there two different ways? QG says, I love the approach of abstracting stuff. I've been doing that for my projects because it makes much easier and more efficient. For me, it makes it easier to reason and manage. All right, so the question is, should I allow this to happen? And if we allow this to happen, does this mean that I require both these? If so, does this mean, so let's label this A, B, and C. Does this mean to get C, we need A and B, or A or B, right? I don't know why I put an E on that or. So which one of these is it? If I'm going this way, do I need both of these things or do I need one of those things? So that's a question. That's a design decision we make. Drama says, since you will go with UI Toolkit, I don't know how much I can help, but with the UGUI, each game object that would hold the graphic for the skill would also hold the requirement for being able to put points in that node. So no fancy work would be needed. It's quite straightforward. Gotcha. Tani says, let's say if there's flaming arrows, you need both flame mastery and bow mastery. Yeah, so the question is, should our system require you to have both to get here? That's a question. Big G says, I think skill tree could have a level requirement, cost requirement, and one to multiple prereqs. Tani says, but there are also some skills that would be unlocked with only one condition, so why not both? So the question is, so Tani, it says, so the big thing is 14 hours. This is how much time we have. How complex of a system do we want? How complex of a system can we make in 14 hours? That's the question. How complex of a system can we do in that amount of time? Drama says, because the node itself would be a button that would enable you to click on the event actually, put the point into that node so the requirement would sit on that node script. See, that for me, that couples it too tightly with the system in that regard. If you're, in my opinion, it's coupling a little bit. Big Juicy, I think skill trees could have a level requirement, cost requirement, and one to multiple prereqs. Should have a level requirement, cost requirement, and one to multiple prereqs. So when I say prereqs, that's just like these nodes here coming in. So A and B both then. Okay, so let's design a system. So the answer that I think we came to is yes, we allow this, but in this case, we select this one, that if it has it both going and you actually need both of those things to get it. I like that. Okay, so we have a starting node. Each node has student. Each node has a cost and requirement. And then it requires requirement rec is in addition to having all parent nodes. So we're going to say that you have to have all parent nodes. John says, yeah, because it's how UGUI works. That's why I said that. Yeah. So I agree. So this is why I'm saying, like, that system I think would be maybe simpler. I'm not sure if simpler is the right word. More straightforward to implement initially than the system that I'm building. But my system, I'm hoping, is like has reusable components to it. So we have a start node. Each node has children. Each node has a cost and requirements. Requirement is in addition to being required to have all of the nodes. So the requirement is like having all of the parent nodes as well. So that's our system. At the end of the day, Gordienko Games, welcome to the Academy. How are you, Gordienko Games? Happy Monday, my friend. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I'm having a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day here. Any day I get up and I'm able to code feels like a beautiful day to me. It's a pleasure to be here. How are you, Gordienko? I need to know. Thank you for coming back. Love having you here. All right. So at the end of the day, I do want to be able to implement, in the UI, I'm going to implement two different skill trees, ideally implement two different skill trees just so that we can see it. Elite Stomper back again. We got Elite Stomper in the house. Elite Stomper, happy Monday, my friend. How the heck are you? So nice to see you, my friend. All right, so that's sort of our scope at this point. So we got to define these things. Okay, so I think we have our scope defined. As far as like the node system that we have. In the UI toolkit, we're going to want to have it's sort of like this system where you can add nodes into it and it will draw it into the UI system. So there's going to be like a menu system in the UI builder that lets you add requirements and it'll place things into the scene. And then the idea is you'll be able to drag those around to make it your UI, but it'll automatically keep the arrows sort of like lined up for you. That's sort of my idea there. Additionally, we need a way, so hover, I want to do hover to see description, and plus requirements, any additional requirements. Although we might include the description text, you sort of have to put the requirements in. Now, that's good, Cap. Working on my C# some more, trying to figure stuff out. Awesome, my friend. I'm so happy to hear you're coding and growing and learning that stuff. So happy to, again, Elite Stomper, if you have any questions, you know who to ask. You know where to ask. If you guys don't know this, we have a nice Discord stream. Discord stream, not the right word. We have a nice Discord server community growing where we have all sorts of people asking and helping each other. On the Discord, there's an ask for help forum. You guys are always welcome to come to Ask for Help. So many people here helping each other out. We're all growing and coding together. It's awesome. Big Juice says, if you make a list of prereq with multiple types of prereq, making prereq could be an abstract class with default logic. I think, yes. I think that's sort of what we're going to go for, Big Juicy. I think I'm going to use an interface with a default implementation. But yes, the idea is to make that an abstract thing that is sort of separated out. Full Sample said, I followed a bunch of people everywhere, so I had forgot who the Captain Coder is, but then I realized, it's the singing guy. That's right. I just get so excited. I can't help but sing it, floweth from my lungs. I can't help myself. When I get excited, when I get coding, I get excited. All right, folks, I think we have our design document. All right. Shay says, I know the game you're showing up. This game, this is Shidy's game. Gotta go check it out. One more time, folks. Shidy's a fabulous indie game developer working on the ultimate 2D space shooter, Escape Space. You gotta check it out. Click that link. Hover on, add to your wish list. Unity Coder says, P.S. Hover would be hard to do in mobile. Click to select and see info with apply button could work too. Ooh, that's a good idea. When you click it, have like a little area on the side that displays the information. Ooh, that's an idea. Horpel, I'm so sorry. My stream bot is crazy. It's protecting us from bots, essentially. Horpel, I'm so sorry. Let me know if whisper me if you don't get untimed out. Why won't this up? I'm gonna check out this video real quick on my machine. Give me a moment. Just a moment. I would recommend the best place to post links is on the Discord if you can get there. Ooh, what are we looking at here? Horpel, what are we looking at here? Is this a game that you're making? This looks cool. What am I seeing? Horpel, talk me through what I'm seeing. Look at this, folks. This is a game, target practice, some minion madness. Gotcha. Nice. This is beautiful. I love it. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. All right. So we're going to hop back in here. We're hopping back in. We're hopping for the first time. So we just finished defining our learning goals in our scope document. Started with Unity 2 weeks ago. Ooh, impressive for 2 weeks. We're on a learning journey together, my friend. Horpel, we're on a learning journey together. All right, we just finished defining our learning goals in our scope document for this week. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to get it done. There's a lot to get done on this one here. Fule Snobble, so sorry I got timed out as well. I said, I suppose I shared what I coded while I lurked last time. I'm so sorry. My bot doesn't like links. The best place to post links is on the Discord. That said, if you're not, you don't have to be on the Discord. I don't want to force anyone on the Discord. If you're going to post a link, just ask first. I can usually permit you to post links. It's mostly there because we get attacked by bots, probably once a week. So I try and keep that Stream Elements thing going until, So I'm so sorry you got timed out there. Thank you for sharing that. Horpel, for sharing such beautiful work, for your progress, my friend. 50 points to you. Thank you so much. And Snabble, let's check out this shader toy you've sent as well. Ooh, shaders are so cool. I definitely want to play with shaders so much at some point. People have been showing me all these cool shaders. This is awesome. This is something you made, Snabble? Add points. Great. Thank you for sharing this as well. Awesome. Beautiful. 50 points to you as well for sharing. I appreciate it. Look at that. Wow. That's awesome. I did it well lurking. See, it's stuff like this that makes you go, I should learn how to do this, because look how cool. Look at the cool effects you can add to stuff. Mesmerizing is right. Mesmerizing is absolutely correct. Okay. We just finished defining learning goals in our scope document, and for being here to witness that, folks. We're being here to witness this beautiful moment. 50 points to everyone. Thank you all for being here to share this moment with me. 50 points to all of you, because you are here to see it happen here this week on Captain Coders Academy. I'll get it up on a blog soon. That's right, MMO Pog champ. No, MMO Pug. Yes, that's right. Whoa, we got to get a whoa out here. Can we get a whoa? Whoa. We did it, folks. We got ourselves some learning goals and a scope document in place. We got 1 week to finish this up. All right, so the next step here, let's see, how much time? How much time? What's our break? We've been going for 58 minutes. Big G says, no, thank you for sharing that. This community wouldn't exist without you people, though. All of you beautiful people out there. Thank you, Big Juicy. Thank you for making this community possible. This community would not be possible without all the wonderful people who are here with us today. You're the crew. The captain's nothing without a crew, right? So thank you all for being here to do this with me together, learning and coding and growing. Yeah, I love it. I've been having so much fun doing this. I wish I had done this years ago. I wish I had started a community like this years ago. This has just been so awesome for me. To be surrounded. I feel surrounded. I know it's over the internet. I feel surrounded by so many amazing people. It's been wonderful. So we're gonna set up libs, Unity project dependencies. So I created a so before we got here, I did create a repository for this project. All right, so we have that. So Captain Coder org. What is the name of the repository? I created a repository for the skill tree here, and I created this takes like 5 minutes to get going. So I went ahead and made that ahead of time, but we have that here. As far as just like a basic Unity project setup. And then you guys know me, I learned how on a previous project, we learned about using DLLs in here. So I have my Captain Coder core library checked out here as well. So in addition to the Unity, so this is the Unity project, Unity skill tree. In addition to that, I have the Captain Coder core library. And this is where we're gonna add in the abstract portion of our skill tree. Big GC, I've been wanting to start a community, but it seems like a lot of work. Kudos to you and your energy. No, yeah, you know, I'm enjoying it so much. You know, that I feel like I haven't done a lot. I just, you know, I started streaming just to record videos for my students. I started streaming because I was too lazy to upload videos. I didn't want to actually edit the videos. I was gonna like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it live and tell students, look, here's the learning experience. And then uploading the videos was like super slow and annoying. So I just started live streaming it so it would automatically upload the videos. And then, you know, it was just a fun experience and I decided to keep going, and that's where we are now. Artifice says, what are all your extensions in the sidebar? There's too many. So the important ones that I like for live share is awesome. Git lens, I don't use that much. What else do I got? Docker, I use a lot. Thunder client is great for setting up APIs. The GitHub one is a necessity to me. Jupyter is awesome. If you're not using Jupyter Books, this one's great for learning and testing stuff out. This testing one is specifically for when we're working in .NET. So let me open up this. Captain Coder Core is the library here. We've been building out unit tests. So this extension is really nice if you're doing unit testing. It discovers your tests. You can run them through this this nice interface here. This F# one drives me crazy. I wish I could set it to not auto load, because it loads and does weird stuff. Anytime I open up a C# project, it thinks I'm doing F#, and I don't like that. We're gonna add that to our, no, we don't need to add that there. Okay. Artifice, I hope that, I don't know if I answered any question. Is it Ionide F#? The extension, I don't know what extension it is. If I'm being completely honest, let's go see. F#. It is this one. It is this one. I just wish it didn't start up automatically. I'm sure there's a setting I can use to disable. I just don't know. Here, let's go to workspace. Hang on. Disable. Well, I don't want to. I do write F#. Here's the thing. I use F#. I write F# code like a couple times a week. I've been learning F#. What I would like to do is in my workspace settings. All right, I'm gonna do this off screen so I don't accidentally expose anything. Let's see, can I disable F# for just this project? Abstract stub. There is a workspace setting. I'm gonna see if I have more than I know. Enables a code fix and generate missing members for abstract classes. F# here. Can I just turn off? I want to turn it off just for this. If enabled code lenses references this, let me keep looking. Enabled touch bar, enabled tree view. Yeah, I want to disable it just for this project. It's super annoying. Big G says, I usually run a little flat myself. I'm not 100% sure exactly what you mean. And Mark says, if it thinks you're trying to use F# when you play C#, it might be out of tune. That's right. That's right. I usually run a little flat myself. I got your joke now, Big Juicy. That's a good joke. That's a great joke. Beautiful. That's hilarious. That's a good one. I'm going to see if I figure this out later. I don't know exactly what the setting here would be. A little bit annoyed that I can't just disable it for this project. But fun fact, I've been playing around with creating. So we can make, so we got our Captain Coder, Proton. What's up, my friend? What's up, Proton? Anyone who doesn't know Proton. Proton, the absolute legend himself is here, folks. Astounding Commodore 64 coding guru, musician, and graphician. Absolute legend, absolute legend. Amazing chiptune music, incredible streamer, folks. If you're not following Proton, give him a follow. What does it hurt to give him a follow, folks? Go check it out. You're gonna love the music you hear. You're gonna love that music. Check out its SoundCloud. Proton, I probably should put another link in here to your SID site as well. He's not too shabby on Amiga. No, he's incredible on Amiga. Proton is light years above me in every way possible from the coding aspect. Blows my mind being over there. Absolutely love that stuff. All right, so what what we have here, so our unit tests are built out this, or show up here. This is that extension. Fun fact, what I was gonna say is I've been playing with off stream, I haven't done this on stream. You can write, because they're .NET DLLs, you can actually write your code in F#, your abstract code in F#, and then drop that into a Unity project. You can use your F# written code in a Unity project, folks, and it's awesome. It's awesome. So that's probably coming at some point where we do a project where it's like, we're gonna do everything in F# for this Unity project just to make people angry. Because F#'s a cool language, folks. F#'s a great language. Highly recommend. I'm a recovering Haskell addict, folks. Recovering functional programmer. That water's good. That water's good. Full snap. I consider myself F# first. Big Juicy, if I may, on the cog on the extension sidebar, there should be a disable for workspace. Oh. Where are you, F#? Where are you? Disable. Oh, on the cog. On the cog. On the cog, there should be a disable for workspace. Extensions. Oh, the Big Juicy, you have saved me so much pain. The Big Juicy, my friend, 50 points for solving my problems. Big Juicy, I love you. I love you, Big Juicy. I love the Big Juicy. Big Juicy, I love you. Juicy, thank you so much for that, my friend. Oh, yeah, let's reload. Now it's not gonna be there when oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Oh, now I didn't know about that. Now I know, and my life is better for it. My life is better for it. I love that. So, I love that, because being able to disable different ones. Okay, has to build in Captain Coder Core. Yes. All right, just add to all. There needs to be an add to all button. Add it to all of them, please. Just do it. Do it. Okay. So in our core library here, we're gonna add a new element to our core library called skill tree. Okay. So in our CaptainCoder.core folder, we're gonna create so this is Captain Coder. We're gonna make a new directory called skill tree. All right. So this is gonna be for our new project. So we're gonna go into that project. .NET new. This is gonna be a class library. Okay, let's see if we can get all the things right this time. We want it to target .NET 2.1. We want it to give C# 11. All right, 2.1 C# 11, and I need the name of the output being created if no name is specified, and then the name of the, So .NET new class lib. We got, let's see if we can get the command right on the first try. F, why do you jump down? Why do you do this? Why are you doing this to me? .f, this is net standard 2.1. Net standard 2.1. Our lang version. I think it's 11. I don't know if I have to do C# 11 or if I can just do 11. Lang version is 11. And then the name should be CaptainCoder.skilltree. Let's see if we get it right on the first time, folks. Let's see if we get it right. So it created, did not do what I wanted. I want this to be in the parent directory. All right, so I need to move star up. The output, I need to specify the output folder to be, all right, let's try again. Remove star RF. Let's remove all of those. Let's try the command one more time. And I think output, I say put it here. Out dot. There we go. There we go. This is the command I'm looking for. This is the command I'm looking for to get the class lib right the first time. All right, so this is our new library that we're going to be implementing here for our skill tree. Let me increase that font again. Sorry, I had to shrink that because I couldn't handle it. I had to be a little bit different. So this sets up our CS project file targeting .NET Standard 2.1. So this will work not only in Unity projects, but just about any other project out there. But it gives us language features for C# 11. One little bit, if you want to use records, you have to include a file that exposes is external in it. or at least defines it. That's a requirement. So we're gonna just copy this over here. It's important to make it be an internal class. And then there's a caveat here, I believe, that if you include this into a .NET 5 project, that like won't work. But no one uses .NET 5, so we're okay, right? Right? Am I right? I don't know. The plan is using Unity. We'll find out if it's a problem at some point. I'll probably figure that out. But that's what we're gonna do. This here is, I don't know what the name of this file should be. So I'm gonna leave it as class 1 for now. What is it gonna be? I guess it will be, I'll create an interface to start out. Our interface, iSkill tree. So we're gonna start with the public interface iSkill tree, namespace captaincoder.skill tree using system. I'm gonna use some default usings as well. I like the default usings for the basic things that I have. Do I have a default usings here? Yeah, we're gonna copy this one. We're gonna copy this one over here into our project. So we have this default using, so this now I don't have to import system collections, generic link, or captaincoder.core. That said, we got to link up Captain Coder, the core library, to this. So we're going to do this again through the command line, .NET add reference. We're going to say you're going to need access to the Captain Coder, the core lib. So now we have all of the core data structures we've defined, all of the extensions we've defined in the past. We have access to those. Let's make sure this, let's see, one sec. Skill tree. What language is the terminal? I'm using Bash, but these commands will all work. So I'm on Windows. All of these commands will work with PowerShell as well, but these are also Bash. I'm using Git Bash for this. So I'm not using like a Linux subsystem or anything. So the language itself in the terminal is called Bash scripting. It's what I'm most familiar with. And if you're using like Visual Studio, a lot of this stuff is built in. There's probably extension for Visual Studio Code that do it as well. But the idea is I'm linking these together. So when I add that reference, it says, oh, well, I need to reference the Captain Coder core library in this so that you have access to my default things. For example, I have position in Captain Coder core. I have a position class, position struct that defines like a row and a column. These are things that I use in between projects. So this is adding a reference to my core library here. And then it also, we're gonna add it to the whole solution, to the whole project. I'm gonna add it to the whole project. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to add in here. I hope that answered your question, Big Juicy. If it didn't, feel free to ask again. Please ask again. If I ever fail to answer a question, please ask for clarity and I'll do my best to answer. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I don't know all the details. All right, so this forces me to say, hey, generate an XML file. Generate the documentation file for this. And so that's gonna force me to put a summary here. What is a skill tree? I don't know yet, but a skill tree essentially has like nodes and then edges. So it's gonna be a type of graph. So we got our Captain Coder skill tree here. The last little thing I want to do, it looks, Big G says, it looks similar to coding game that I play sometimes, It used JavaScript. I was curious. For this, it's a terminal, so I'd call this console commands. So Unix style commands, Bash does Unix. So this is like on my operating system. I'm running commands from the terminal. I'm just really comfortable with that. I'm less comfortable with the UI stuff. And if I was using Visual Studio, I'd probably do it through Visual Studio. Just because there's a pretty nice UI for doing it. Okay, so now I have my skill tree library here. I'm gonna use tests. So I'm gonna write unit tests. So one of the things I love about writing my system separately like this is I can actually make adjacent to it, all right, adjacent to this, if we were to look at just, let me open up my Explorer a little bit more. So you can see it here. One of the things I love about writing my library this way is I can have a skill tree test side by side with it. And this one is going to be a library that uses XUnit for testing. In Unity, you have to use NUnit. I don't know if have to, but you typically use NUnit. So in this case, we're going to go into our skill tree. And again, we're going to create, let's see if we can get it right the first time. .NET, in this case, we're going to do an XUnit. We're going to do a new XUnit like this. And this one's gonna be Captain Coder .tests.skill tree here. All right, so it's gonna create a test file for it. Big G says I use Visual Studio I just make new scripts from the UI. Gotcha, but I don't know you can make a proj file. So Visual Studio makes your proj file for you automatically. So it's there. It creates a proj file. It also creates a solution file. And so I'm going to show you all of that as I go here. I like showing every week going through this process because it's just a good practice to have. Okay, so now we have our testing framework here. And so our testing, we're going to say this is actually going to be our skill tree test. Skill tree test. Let me rename this to skill tree test. And this again needs a reference to our other libraries. So we're going to add in a reference, .NET add reference. This is going to reference to our Captain Coder core, but it's also more importantly going to reference our skill tree library because that's the library we're testing. We're testing our skill tree library. Specifically with this tool. So we've added that reference there. And you will see now that if I come into my testing tool here and I say find new test. Oh, actually this isn't gonna work because I haven't linked it up entirely yet. For my whole solution now. QG says, by referencing skill tree, do you not implicitly reference core as well? I don't think so. That's a good question. Let me try it. So I'm new to .NET. I'm pretty new to .NET. Let's try it. I'm curious now. I don't know for sure. Skill tree. Let's remove that reference. So let's open up the core test here. Let's remove the reference. I'm going to remove the reference here to my core. And I'm going to see if I can use the things from CaptainCoder.core because of that. .NET. I don't think I'll be able to. I think I explicitly have to put it there if I want to use those in my test. Let's build this just to see. It should build fine. But in my skill tree here, if I'm doing using CaptainCoder.core, there's no core. No, I don't get it implicitly. I do not get it implicitly. And just to make sure that I don't have like a phantom error here, let's try to build. Oh, I do. Maybe I do get it implicitly. Hang on. Can I do position P equals new position 0, 0? This might be a phantom thing that the UI just hasn't caught up yet. Ooh, .NET test. You taught me something new. Let's see, can I make this? Yeah, I can. Okay, QG, you are correct. You are correct. Thank you for teaching me this. Let me see if let's reload my window. It just seems to be out of sync with what it is capable of doing. I didn't realize we could do it that way. I didn't realize you got it implicitly. And for teaching me this, QG, for providing this incredible moment for me. 50 points to you, my friend. Thank you so much for pointing that out. I did not know that was the case. And now I know. I appreciate you. So yeah, we only have to reference this. We don't have to reference the core project now. Beautiful, my friend. Thank you for that. Very, very much appreciated. This is going to save so much time. That's right. That's right. So now in our testing, you'll notice my test doesn't show up here in my framework yet. And that's because this is using my overall solution for the project. So I have one big solution file here. This is our Captain Coder core solution. This includes references to all of the libraries. And so we haven't added a reference to our skill tree or our test yet. So we're going to do .NET SLN add, and we're going to add, is it add reference? I think it's just add Captain Coder skill tree. All right, so we're going to add in our skill tree reference there. And we're also going to add in the Captain Coder. This is our test / skill tree as well. So it'd be a test / skill tree. Hang on, I got it wrong. Test Captain Coder skill tree. All All right, so now we've added there. So now if I were to refresh this, it should find it. If it doesn't find it, I'll be a little bit disappointed. But this checks the solution file, says, okay, well, I'm gonna find all the tests associated with it. Let's see here. Building those tests. Additionally, it didn't find it. Maybe it did. Captain Coder skill tree test. There it is. It's just nested under Captain Coder. I should probably make it so that it's the name spacing. I got to be more consistent with my name spacing. I should probably make it Captain Coder tests. I should probably put these all in tests. This one doesn't happen to exist in the Captain Coder name test. So there's some continuity issues that I have not followed. There's some continuity issues, but we do get those tests now. Additionally, if I do .NET from the solution file, .NET test, which will be part of my automated deploy, like build and deploy system at some point, assuming I ever get there. This builds everything. It's an all-in-one tester where I'll know whether or not some DLL is failing. It runs all of my unit tests at once, and I can use this to sort of give me confidence that I break something whenever I'm touching files. We're doing any kind of refactoring. So we have our DLL set up here. Not our DLLs, our core library here. And so I'm gonna do, this is in a submodule. So we're gonna add this information here. So we're gonna add this. We're gonna stage this and we're gonna commit this. We're gonna do, this is gonna be a chore set up skill tree project tests. So set up the skill tree projects and tests like this. So class lib, maybe is what I call it, class lib and tests. So the idea is to have a class library that is independent of our Unity program, and we don't actually have to have like a main program that runs, and this helps with our development cycle. So in Unity, sometimes the development cycle gets really slow because you're doing stuff in Unity. The last little step here that we got to do, let's go ahead and publish this branch up. The last little step we need to do, no, I don't want to create a pull request, is in our main project here. If we're back here in our project like this, we need to get those libraries from our core into our Unity project. And so I've put this little build file outside and I copied it from the previous one. We're gonna build our captaincoder.core library, and then we're gonna copy those things over. So rather than doing our inventory path, we don't need the inventory for this project. So instead, this is going to be our skill tree path. And so this is going to Captain Coder skill tree, the binary we're gonna get from that. And then the actual skill tree here is captaincoder.skill tree. So there's some things here that like I'm slowly learning as I get more of these libraries. So if I want a project where I use more of these libraries, I can probably automate like some tool to build this build file for you, or have some like checkbox you click and it gives you the correct DLLs. I have some plans on how to get this to work as a Unity extension. I'm not there yet, but that's my, ultimately I want to end up with a Unity extension. It's like the Captain Coder Unity extension where you can select which libraries you want to use and it'll automatically build and add them in there for you. But this is gonna be our path. We're gonna put it in Unity skill tree, assets, plugins, Captain Coder. So we're gonna put those in there. We're gonna take our core, we're gonna take our skill tree like this, and this is our skill tree path. Like that. So we need core, we need the skill tree, like that. And that's gonna drop those DLLs in there for us. Let's see if this build works or if we get an error. Let's go up to our root directory here, bash build. And when we build this up, it should build fine. But we couldn't put it in there. This folder doesn't exist yet. Big G says, for those without a CS background, if I wanted to build a library, could I use Unity to help? Unity does provide tooling for doing it. They call them assemblies in Unity. It's a little, I have found it to be kind of tricky and annoying to do. That said, it's not impossible. So some of the other projects I've done have dealt with doing that. So I need assets, plugins, and then Captain Coder inside of that. I don't know if I answered your question. Big Juicy, did I answer your question? If I didn't, please ask again. For those without a CS background, if I wanted to build a library, could I use Unity to help? Yeah, you can. So I think you can do that. So this is like how stuff gets into the asset store. And so let me open up our project from last time. If you build a tool in Unity, you can export it as a asset that you can add into other projects. So I'll show you real quick what we did last time. Let me get my inventory project open. Oh, in fact, it's on, hang on. I put it on the inventory site. So last time, if you, I know you were here a little bit, but I got to update this here to say the right thing. But our inventory project on day 5, essentially after you build a set, so this talks to, and I put everything in these folders, and then we can export a package. This is essentially a library. This essentially is a library. So I selected these, you select export package. It takes all the content inside of those 2 folders, packages them up into a library, and then you can just sort of drop those into another project. So I have an asset file. Let me see if I can find where this asset file is. On the last project, one sec. Give me a second here to get to it. If I go into just a second, bear with me, grab your bear, please, bear with me. This is our, what do we do? Inventory system, RPG, grid-based inventory. There you are. All right, so in my grid-based inventory project, I have this build. We generated this asset file. So this is essentially a library, and I just dropped that into another project. It says, okay, you want an inventory system into your project? Boom, import it. And we have this, it takes all of the code, all of the libraries, everything I put together in that project, and allows you to jump in here. So Unity does provide you a way to do it. They call them package, I think it's called like a unity.asset or something along those lines. But now it's just gonna be able to dump this in here. It's gonna conflict with some of my other stuff. I didn't mean to put it in the plugins folder. And so I need to go back and refactor this a little bit, but notice that added to a Captain Coder project with me with a, where's my demo scene? I have a demo scene here. In my demo, didn't I make a demo scene here? Where is it? Captain Coder, scenes, demo scene. I need to fix how it does that, but my demo scene here actually demonstrates, and maybe it doesn't quite work. We're gonna find out. Oh, it didn't quite work. I gotta figure out how to package it a little bit better. We're missing something. What is it complaining about? Clear that. I'm a little surprised this didn't work. But I think maybe all the sprites and whatnot, demo scene, I'm a little surprised that didn't work. I thought I got this working. Anyway, you can make libraries in Unity. They're called packages. UI, there's no, I didn't import the UI system, I think is what's going on. So let's come down to assets. We'll create a UI toolkit, UI document. This should by default, there are some things that don't get imported. All right, so this just tells me there are specific things I need to do to make sure we get all of the dependencies. My library hasn't been finished quite yet. We did test it out. I'm surprised this didn't quite work. What is it looking for? Cannot find. It's trying to reference something that doesn't exist. Anyway, I apologize for all of the rambling here. Big Juicy, did that make any sense to you? Did that help at all? I want to go ahead and remove this package here. I don't want these. Okay, cool. I know I rambled a lot there. I need to actually make that thing a little bit more robust as far as like exporting and getting it into other projects. All right, let me clear this up. Yeah, I was gonna say, all right, well, you got rid of those DLLs now. There's one little, there's some tricks I gotta figure out exactly how to make them work the way I want in regards to the plugin folder. But I think now my build, it was complaining previously that I didn't have the right folder structure. So I think this will do it now. Yeah. So now we have a right folder structure. It's gonna take those DLLs. Anytime I want to get them into Unity, I run that build. It's gonna build them and drop them in here. Not the most straightforward way to do it. Like I said, at some point, I think I need to create a like Captain Coder Unity asset that will manage those for me to make it easier to put them in, because there's gonna be conflicts between the different DLLs if you have like, if you're trying to use my inventory system at the same time as you're importing my Captain Coder core library, you're gonna run into issues with it. All right, so we got our project set up here. I deleted this demo scene. I don't want to save it. Back to my sample scene here. Moonis says, how are we doing over here? How many unit tests have been written? 0 unit tests, but we did get a unit tests project set up, as well as a core. We just finished setting up our project. So that was fast. Set up libs, Unity project dependencies. I'm getting much, I've done this enough times now that this is becoming almost trivial. This is almost trivial. The first time I did it took like an hour. This time I think it took 15 minutes. So the repetition of setting up your libs, Unity project dependencies, I'm getting better at that. So I'm really, really happy with the programs they're doing there. Mooniz, how was your lurk? Did you get anything done on your end? That said, we do have to take a break. That's right, Immortal Kid. I do want to build a tool for doing this. You know me. I can't. Look, all these things that's what I was saying, is like, well, this feels like it could be a parameterized, that you could have little checkboxes. I think I'm going to end up writing a Unity asset to manage the Captain Coder core library. Muniz did make some progress. Fascinating, fantastic is what I meant to say, not fascinating. It's not fascinating to make progress. You always make progress, Muniz. You're a progressing person. Is that right? Progressing person, I don't know if you're progressive. You're a progressing person. That's what I wanted to say. All right, folks, we've been going for 90 minutes. We do have to take a break. I'm out of bean water. I haven't had enough water to drink yet, so I'm gonna chug myself some water, get myself some more bean water. When we come back, folks, you know what we're gonna do? I found my stretching book. I've been looking for it. I keep seeing it around. We're gonna be doing some stretching. We're gonna do some stretching when we come back. This is one of my favorite books. It keeps me healthy, keeps me good. I've had this book for a couple years now. Absolutely great book. We're gonna do some stretches when we get back, folks. So when we get back, we're gonna take care of ourselves. Tell your coworkers, get them ready for this break. Get your mom, get your cousin, get your uncle, get your dog in there, your golden retriever. Maybe you got a chihuahua. Get them in here. We're gonna do some stretches together when I get back. So hang tight, folks. I shall return. All right, folks, thank you so much for bearing with me. We got Shumac asking Unity, what we building? Let me guess, the ultimate RPG. No, nothing like that. I would never claim to even try and make the ultimate RPG. I'm not that good. We are building, great question though. Great question. Our goal this week. All right, so welcome to Captain Coders Academy, by the way. We do a new project every week. This, I'm kind of gearing up. I am kind of gearing up for this game jam I want to do. So this was a project that was suggested on the Discord. So on the Discord, someone suggested doing a, where is it? This is ask for help. Hang on. Where are you? Suggested projects. Someone suggested doing a skill tree system. Like, how would you implement a skill tree? So I was like, I'm not 100% sure how I'd implement a skill tree, but that's why we're doing this, tech/skill tree. So our goal this week is to implement a system for doing a skill tree in a game, with the ultimate goal for me is in April, we're going to be doing this game jam. So micro project, yeah, every week we're learning. So every week we want to learn something new. So you missed the beginning, but today our main goal is define and design our document and project scope for the week. And so today, what we decided was the following. So what are our learning goals this week? Well, we want to do graph data structure visualization with the UI toolkit. So I've been on a UI toolkit kit trying to learn it a little bit. So the last 2 projects have been UI toolkit based. This one I also want to continue. Basically, I'm probably gonna be using UI toolkit for my dungeon crawler game jam entry. And so we're gonna keep exploring that. I have something weird selected here. Also, I want to explore more generic types for trying to generalize. I'm trying to create a skill tree library. So a little library that can be dropped into different projects and reused. And then if I really want to explore the USS, this is the Unity style sheet variables a little bit more. The last project, I read about it, but I didn't actually use them. So that's our goal. So the only thing we're doing on this project is implementing a skill tree that would be a part of a game. We're not actually implementing a whole game, just a skill tree. We're gonna see if we can do it so I'm gonna be streaming 6 days this week. I sort of estimate about half the time is actually spent working on something. So I'm estimating that we'll be working for about 14 hours. So what's the scope of the project? What can we get done in 14 hours in a realistic setting? And so we're gonna say, okay, well, our skill tree is a set of nodes and edges. So every sort of skill is going to be a node. This is the thing you can acquire. They sort of have children. So every node can have children. It doesn't have to have children, but every node has children. To be able to acquire that second node, you have to have all of the parents. So we decided that if we have a setup like this, where you have A leads to B, and A leads to C, and B leads to C, you actually have to get both of these things before you get it. So we have these sort of parent dependencies. And then additionally, there's going to be a cost and level requirement with these as well. So we're going to see, can we build a system that works in this way? I don't know if we can do it. We're going to try. 14-ish hours, 6 streams. We're going to see if we can do it. I don't know if we're going to get there, but we're going to try. That said, we just got back from a break. We're on a break right now. I just got myself some more bean water. I got myself, a refresher on water. We've been standing here coding for the last 90 minutes. Coding is a strong word. Been standing here pretty sedentary the last 90 minutes. If you're like me, you're a coding troll. You're a coding troll. Maybe you're a gaming troll. Maybe you're an internet troll. Maybe you're a bridge troll. I don't know. Either way, if you're just sitting around under a bridge all day, hunched over, your body is getting, you're doing what's called a repetitive stress injury from sitting there hunched over, typing all day. Maybe your hands resting in a weird way. Get RSIs, you're gonna end up like me with the carpal. I got the carpal in my right side, folks. And so we gotta get on up. We're gonna take care of ourselves. We're gonna do some stretching here. So get on up with me. I highly encourage you to take care of everybody. Captain Coder loves you, which means you should love you. And if you love you, that means you should love your body. And if you love your body, you gotta take, hey, I see you back there.
You in the back. Pay attention.
I see you back there not paying attention. Get on up with me. We're gonna do some stretches, folks. All right. We're gonna do my favorite stretch here. Shumac says the goal of the skill tree is pretty interesting. Yeah. So we're gonna see if we can do it. I don't know if we can do it, but that's sort of what we're going for. See if we can get there. All right, everyone, get on up with me. We're gonna take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, me in. Reach up, get up on those toes, and reach up to the ceiling as high as you can get. Stretch out, get it at hold. We're gonna hold this for 20 seconds. Breathe normally. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. Breathe normally. 20 seconds, folks. Oh. Get that nice stretch in. Get that. It should just be a little tension. If it hurts, it shouldn't hurt. Feel good. Feel good. Engage that core for the balance. Maybe feet shoulder width apart to hold it. Hold it together, folks. All right, we're gonna take it a deep breath, and as we exhale, you're gonna roll down and hinge at the waist. Deep breath and out. Then we're gonna exhale as we come down, hinge at the waist and hang. We're gonna hang here for 25 seconds. Don't lock your knees. Keep those legs straight, but don't lock your knees. You don't want to cut off the blood flow. Should cause you to faint. I don't want you to faint. Instead, you're stretching out your glutes and your lower back here. You feel the stretch in your glutes and your lower back. Maybe if you're like me and you're not super flexible, you might feel a little bit further down the back on your calves a little bit as well. But I've been doing this for 2 months now, almost daily. I can touch my toes. This is insane to me. I've never been able to touch my toes. But we've done it, we made it. So I highly encourage doing this. We're gonna hang here for another 5 seconds. We're gonna breathe in for 4 seconds. As we get up, you're gonna roll up. As you breathe in for 4. Get those shoulders up, back, and down. And then we're gonna roll those shoulders. Let's roll those shoulders back. 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows. 2, 3, 4. Full arm. 2, 3, 4. Change directions. 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows. 2, 3, 4. Full arm. 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah. Shake it out a little bit, folks. Shake it out. Shumac says, I have not been able to, and I've been stretching the same way, so I can. Gotcha. Well, I hope you're taking care of yourself, taking care of your body. It's so easy to sit there being sedentary and, like, you don't realize how much damage you're doing. You're hurting your back. Maybe you have some back pain. I don't know. All right, we're going to stretch out our forearms now. Palms together, folks. Palms together. Hands up. Bring those palms down until the elbows come out and flat there. You're gonna feel tension in your forearms. If it hurts, you're doing it too hard. It should just be a little bit of tension. If you don't feel any tension as you bring it down because you're flexible enough, you can start stretching out, push outwards as well. And you should just get a little bit of tension in those forearms. It shouldn't hurt, it should just be a little bit of tension. If you feel pain in your wrists or your forearms, stop. Do not hurt yourself. And we're gonna hold this for 20 more seconds. Oh, it should feel good. Should feel good. Just a little bit of tension, get that stretch in there and really take care of it. This one is a great stretch for helping, mitigate the typing damage that you do. Getting that carpal, the repeated stress injuries on those fingers and wrists. This is just a good one for that. 4 more seconds, and bring it out, release it, and we're gonna roll those wrists. Roll those wrists back and forth. Maybe do a full rotation. And should feel good though. Feels wonderful for me. I hope it felt good for you. I hope you enjoyed that stretch. I hope you're taking care of yourself. All right, folks, let's check it out. Thank you so much for joining me in that. Munez, I don't know why it doesn't I thought it would let you guys do that. I don't know why it doesn't. Thank you all so much for joining me in that stretch. Thank you so much for joining me in that stretch. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the opportunity to take care of yourself, take care of your body. For taking care of yourself, I know you're out there doing these stretches with me. 50 points to all of you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you taking care of yourselves. Fabulous, folks. Fabulous job. Captain loved you. You should love you too. All right, so we're gonna hop back into coding here. Good call on resetting the brake, folks. We're gonna reset the brake. Oh, feels nice to be nice and refreshed. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Moon is replying to Shumac. Do you want to touch your toes? A common mistake is to curve your back. That makes you bend the wrong place. Keep your back straight. You'll get more from the stretch. Yeah, so it's all about hinging at the waist. Hinging at the waist and getting that, the glutes and lower back stretch out a little bit there. So it's not a curve in the back, it's a hinge at the hips. All right, so we've defined our learning goals, the scope. We've set up our libraries. We've set it up in a Unity project here, so our libs are connected. We have a Unity project with all the dependencies added. We have a build script that we can do to like get everything in as we need it. And now we're gonna start our interface definitions. We're gonna start by defining what does it look like to interact with our library? What does that look like? And so we're gonna do that in our Captain, let's see, we got a project here that's the Captain Coder core. Okay, so the idea here, I accidentally have a breakpoint. Do I have other breakpoints? What other, do I have any breakpoints on? Hang on. Should be no breakpoints. All right, no breakpoints, beautiful. Bear with me, sorry folks. Sorry, here we go. All right. What does the skill tree sort of look like from this abstract concept? How am I gonna just, so I'm thinking through this design process here of we have nodes and requirements. So I kind of want this idea, and so I'm gonna start with an interface, and I may end up removing the node and interface requirements. But my generic idea here is we have our nodes, and that's like the iSkill. I'm gonna call iSkill node. So this is like the node in the tree. And this is gonna start with an interface. So this is gonna be the namespace captaincoder.skilltree. Public interface iSkill node. Okay, so the idea is our skill node needs to have some requirements associated with it. I also think it needs a description. So I'm gonna do a public string name. So it's gonna have a name. It's gonna have a name. It's also gonna have a description. Okay, so this is sort of like what will display when you hover over it. If you click on it, it'll display this information about it. But I also think it needs sort of a set of requirements. So maybe a list of iSkill node requirements. So public list iSkill node requirements. I'm not sure if we should do it that way. And maybe requirements is sort of like an internal interface. I'm not 100% sure just yet. We're gonna call this requirements, like that. So it's like, what does this really mean in this regard? Because we're doing like sort of this general abstracted library idea. And so we want to kind of be able to drop this into many different games. So what does that look like? I'm not 100% sure. We're sort of massaging that idea out here. This is why we start with interfaces, so we don't have to worry about the implementation. Say, okay, well, how do these things communicate together? What does the data look like? Implementation is semi-tangential. Shumac says, I think of it like the Skyrim skill tree. Yeah, so we, I wish I didn't close those skill trees. We looked at a bunch of different images of skill trees, and the idea, I think I want to go kind of this style. We have sort of like your starting node, and then you sort of branch off. So in the game that I'm going to make, I believe the skill, there's not going to be like a class system. Instead, you're going to have sort of like your generic hero node. So you start here, and then you can sort of branch off of that. So you can spend skill points to get to these different nodes. Each node itself will have requirements as well. So it's going to be kind of like this. What does the Skyrim one look like? I can't remember. Skyrim skill tree. Yeah. So, yeah, this one's so cool. This one's so cool. Shumac says, I don't think it needs to work, but you should have and build because lots of people get overwhelmed with skill points. I don't think it needs to work, but you should have a build. I don't quite understand the sentence you wrote there. I apologize, Shumac. Could you clarify a little bit for me? I'm a simpleton. Sometimes I struggle to understand. I don't think I need to work, but you should have build because lots of people get overrun with the skill points. So do you just mean like it's sort of passive? Sorry, my typing is bad. No worries. I meant you should have an auto build option so it could build their skills out for them, example stuff. That would be awesome. I think that would be this really, really cool, awesome stretch goal. Keep in mind that this is a 1 week project. keep in mind, so just so you know, at Captain Coder's Academy, I love backseat coding like that. We got to be careful with the scope of the project. Remember, our timeline is 14 hours. Do I think I can get that done in 14 hours? I'm not sure. In fact, I don't think I could. I think that's an awesome option, but that is really dependent on the type of game you're doing. I think that's a great idea. Such an awesome idea. I think you're right that you could get easily overwhelmed with the actual build. I don't think that would go specifically in our core library here. That would be more of an implementation deal in this specific game. So what does it mean to be stealth, right? So my idea here is my nodes and my requirements are these abstract ideas that can be dropped into any game that wants to use a skill tree of this type. Does that make sense? But yeah, great suggestion. Absolutely awesome suggestion. Big G says, I need to relearn interfaces. So they're a lot like classes. The main thing with interfaces is that they're technically all abstract. So if you're familiar with the idea of making an abstract method, maybe abstract classes, an interface is a class in which you can only have abstract methods. That's essentially what it comes down to. You can only have abstract methods. But the requirements here, I'm trying to think, iSkill node requirements. And so I think we need to have sort of this idea of a predicate here. So I almost feel like requirement should be our predicate type. And I'm just gonna put this in here for now. A requirement. Okay. So the idea is I have an internal interface that defines like, well, what the heck is a requirement? And a requirement's gonna be of a type T, and T feels like a bad thing here. But the idea is a requirement says public bool meets requirement, and you give it a T, and this is gonna be like, character or player. So the idea is like this skill tree. I'm gonna do type C. Does that make sense? Or would it make more sense to have our generic type be like a longer name here, like character? So it turns out your generics don't have to be one letter. Big G says, I did a lot of abstract scriptable objects for character jobs as I started, but got overwhelmed. Yeah, so my whole goal here is to keep myself from getting overwhelmed. As a programmer, as a software engineer, as a developer, one thing that you're responsible for is how do you manage the complexity of your program? And because it's easy to say, like, oh, well, it's not too complex yet. It's not too complex yet. And it's like suddenly everything grows out of control, and suddenly seven if statements deep and inside of a triply nested for loop doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So one of my goals here is abstracting this and keeping it as simple as possible, while also providing tools and an interface that works, an API, not just an interface, but an API that is general enough to do interesting things. I hope that, did that comment make any sense? I don't know if that comment made any sense. But yeah, so we have a name, we got a description. A requirements is really just a predicate on a character. I don't know if character is the right word here. But a character just you need something that you can pass and says meets the requirements. And additionally, I think, so our skill node should be for a specific character in this case. At which points I think we can drop this thing. But yeah, so our skill node is based on a character type, and we have a list of requirements for a character type. And you pass a character that knows how to check, needs to know how to check, does this character meet those requirements? G says, I was using ChatGPT, it gave me nested dictionaries and my mind was blown. Decided to break it up into nested classes and it made more sense. Yeah, so it turns out a dictionary is just, in a lot of ways, it's a lot like a class. A dictionary operates very similar to how a class does. I often tell people, one of my favorite, I didn't come up with the same, but one of my favorite things is if you have some sort of programming problem that is too difficult to solve, you can probably solve it with a dictionary. And if it's still too hard to solve, you can probably solve it with 2 dictionaries. And the reason that is because a dictionary provides an abstraction that's very, very similar to how classes work, where you have like an overarching, it's a data structure that holds key value pairs. And that's really all a class is. I have a class called iSkill node, and it has keys, name, description, requirement, These are keys, and then the value is types. So a dictionary is less than like a concrete dictionary is slightly less than a class. It's like it's not quite there. It's not quite there, but it operates very similarly to a class. And there's some like flexibility and ease of getting it set up outside. But yeah, so this is why in JavaScript, it's called JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. JavaScript objects are just dictionaries. JavaScript objects are just dictionaries. And at the end of the day, an instance of a class really is just a dictionary. It's a way to look things up by key, look up values inside of a class using a key. Yes, a dictionary is a class. I had the same key for 3 values. I don't know if that was better. I don't know if that's bad. It sounds bad. That sounds painful. Okay, so we have a node, it has a name description, requirements. This gives us flexibility to do things like, oh, well, we could have a level requirement. We could have a skill requirement. We could have other requirements to it. Additionally, though, I want to have like a generic requirement here. We need to have this character type. All right, this character type, I think we need to have an interface like skilled character type. We need to know what skills this character already has to define like when you create a skill node and it has, ooh, that's another thing. Hang on. Need one more thing, public, void, public, enumerable, skill node, children. We need to be able to get the children nodes of a skill. Big Juice says it was a mess. I love discovering gaps to my knowledge. Me too. I love discovering those gaps. It's a little bit painful to try and fill them in sometimes, but there's a stupid saying that says you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. This is one of the things about being 100% self-taught. Not being 100% self-taught is awesome. I did self-taught program for years and years and years. But when I got into a place where I was surrounded, so I was in college, I got surrounded by people who were also programming and learning stuff. The community of there and the professors teaching me these vocabulary, these things that I didn't know. Programming is so generic and generalized. You can do so much stuff. With it. Yeah. So it's interesting. Sir Black Soul says every reference type needs to be instantiated, and only value type variables are stored on the stack directly. That's true. In C#, that's true. That's sort of like the definition of a value in a reference type. Yes, absolutely. Bool is unlocked /bot. So that's gonna be so you could think multiple characters, right? So this is juicy. Do we want the skill tree to be for like global? It's only one person. I think the skill node needs to be a type character here. I think isBot doesn't make sense for that, but instead you need something like this, skilled character. So you have an interface called skilled character, and this is where that unlocked isBot is going to reside. So there's sort of like this relationship between skill nodes and characters, right? So the question is public interface skilled character. So our skilled, this needs to be a .cs file. Because what if I want to make a game where I have multiple characters and each one can use different skill trees? My skilled node, should my node know what skills they have, or should the character know what skill they have? So that's a design decision of like, does the skill know that the character has it, or does the character know that it has the skill? So there's like this interesting question of how do you design it? There's more than one. There's many ways to do this, and the question is like, well, what is the desired outcome? How are we going to manage this complexity as we go? And I think we have this idea in my version. I think, and this is why we're defining the interfaces without going into the implementation. It's like, well, how do we want all these things to connect and talk to each other and work? I think my skilled character is going to have a skilled tree variable on them called skills. So if you want to use the skill tree in your game, if you want to use this library, you're gonna have to have your characters, have a skill tree. They have to implement this, and then the skill tree is going to have methods like has skill. I'm not 100% sure exactly what that looks like yet, though. So that's why we're sort of like massaging out. We're designing these interfaces to see if we can understand how all of these things intertwine and interrelate. And then we end up saying, okay, well, with these interfaces, can we do all the things that we said we wanted to do? So I think the idea of being able to have a party system where you have multiple characters, I think the character knows about their skill tree. Does that make sense, Big Juicy? Your suggestions is great, by the way. It's just that would be more tuned to having it be a single character that has a skill tree and not being able to support multiple characters with a skill tree. Big Juice says, does character have a skill tree unlocked from gear? That's a good question. So I think that they start with a single skill tree. All right, so here's what the skill tree sort of looks like. The skill tree interface is going to have, a skill, skill node of type character. Okay, so this, not skilled character. Stop it. I got to give this a generic type here, character. All right, so we have an iSkilled node of character. And this is going to be our root. So the idea says, okay, well, does a skill tree have... The skill trees have a single starting point. In the instance that I'm doing, we have a single starting point. Okay. Does that make sense? For the version that I'm doing, there's going to be a single starting point. You could, you could do something where you say, well, you could have a list of different skill trees, and these would be more along the lines of so the one I'm doing has a single root node for the skill tree. You could do something more like this one where you actually have a list of starting nodes. We could do that as well. But I think doing it this way with a single root, the only real difference from going to this to the separate nodes is that your root, it sort of starts out and then it has branches off of it that go to the starting nodes, right? So I think for me, having a single root here makes sense to me. Now in the skill tree here, oh, this is interesting. You know what, Big Juicy? I think you're right, actually. Big Juicy says, gotcha, makes sense. I was using mini skill trees. Is there a way to do both in the same library? I'm trying, so again, this comes down to scope. What can I do in 14 hours? What can I do in 1 week? So for scoping purposes, I'm trying to keep it simple. So this is a challenge when you're a developer. This is a challenge when you're a developer, like, oh, I have all these ideas, have all these great things coming in, people making great suggestions, and suddenly you're buried beneath a mountain and you never actually get anything done. And so scoping your project is such an important skill to have, and I'm bad at it. I'm super bad at it, but I'm getting better. You should have seen me back in January. The first project I did, oh my goodness, the scope, it just grew. And it was massive. It was massive. So over scoping is a challenge. Jade Joe Star, hello, just got done studying in class. Beautiful Jade and Joe Star. Welcome back, my friend. Happy Monday to you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, where you are in the world. Jade and Joe Star, thanks for popping in. It's nice to see you on this beautiful Monday. Is it beautiful for you? How the heck are you? I need to know. Give me the skivvy, Jaden. Give me the skivvy. Let me know how you doing. All right, so our skill tree, I don't think the nodes actually know. Lunar Wolf, so there's no reason that you couldn't have skill tree as a library, which you could then choose to either have a singleton or a list when you consume that in your character class. I think that's true. So in my mind, so the version of the game that I'm kind of doing is that there isn't a class system. So I want to keep. So I'm going to do this dungeon crawl game jam in 18 days. Right, and so the version I'm thinking of is, well, I want to have fewer systems. So in this case, my skill tree is my class system in this project. Lunar Wolf says, it doesn't seem to change the design of skill tree itself, just the character later. There's no reason that you couldn't have skill tree as a library, which you could then choose to have either a singleton or a list. Yeah, so then you would end up with that's exactly right, Lunar Wolf. You'd end up with a list of skill trees rather than a list of root nodes. I love that. That's actually such a good statement. I love that statement. Thank you so much for saying that. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think you're absolutely right. Also, welcome to the chat, Lunar Wolf. So nice to have you. For such a great statement there, I think that's a beautiful thing to say, Lunar Wolf. 50 points to you, my friend, for suggesting that that statement there. I think that's exactly what I needed to hear to like solidify in my mind that I don't need a list of root nodes. Instead, you'd have a list of skill trees to choose from, right? I think that makes sense. That said, now I'm waffling. No worries, Lunar Wolf. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Look, Captain Coder's Academy knows there's many places to lurk. There's many places to lurk. We appreciate you lurking here. You know, you're always welcome to chat, ask questions, suggest things. I love that suggestion. Awesome suggestion. But welcome to the chat, my friend. Welcome to the chat. So now I'm sort of waffling a little bit here, Big Juicy, thinking, well, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right that we actually have is acquired here. Snabble says, people have been saying that I got no class. Ho ho! I've also been called tasteless, which helps me survive as a lion tamer. Yeah, I'm tasteless. The lions don't like the taste of me because I'm tasteless. That's a good joke, Snabble. That's a good joke. HT Kage's here today. We got HT Kage in the house. HT Kage, folks. HT Kage, gotta give you a shout out. HT Kage is I believe you are a speedrunner. Is that right, HT Kage? Or do I got that wrong? I think it's somewhere else. I think I've seen your stream. I've never been timed out. in your stream. That's good. But welcome back, my friend. So nice to see you here this morning. Happy Monday. I almost said Saturday. Legendary level designer. Gosh. Oh, that's right. You're making that awesome. You're part of the game that has the awesome like little blob that's jumping around that can make the boxes. Has the monocolored pixel art. Jane just says, are you using a binary search tree for this? So I'm planning to use a graph data structure, but not a binary search tree. No, it's gonna be a graph data structure. So not an actual tree. So the idea of a skilled tree is a little bit of a misnomer. HK says, you'll be tuned out soon, so don't worry. Moon is saying, that means you have never timed Kage out in your stream, Mr. Kerr. Oh, gotcha. I've never timed. I was thinking that said I never been timed out. That's funny. We're working on 3 different games, but the box one too. That box one is so cool. Nameless Coder says hi. Hello, Nameless Coder. Welcome back, my friend. Welcome back to the stream. We're working on a skill tree library today. We've got 15 minutes left before I gotta go. I gotta hop off because of the daylight savings time. I live somewhere where I don't observe daylight saving time, but my work does. Where I work observes daylight saving time, so now my work schedule shifted. It's very, very weird. It doesn't make you realize how weird daylight savings time is until you work somewhere where they shift time and you don't. It's very, very weird. Muna says, Keepsert is the coder of Super Box. Kage is the level designer. Right? Is that correct? Kage nods. That's right. Okay. That said, our I skill tree. So the question is, does our character? So the question is, the skill tree abstract, or does it have the character like tied into it so we know what skills the character has? I think what we actually do is, I think the character doesn't necessarily have. I don't know if the skill tree makes sense on the character, but instead this character has a set or an enumeration. I want to say the character has a hash set of skills. So you need to be able to get a set off of the character. So a hash set of I skilled nodes. So we need to know what nodes the character has. Skills. One sec here. For some reason, I think we're running into. I think I have some I need to reload here. I think we have some errors that aren't showing up. HK says, Mooniz, is your Metroid Engine ready for purchase yet? Yeah, Mooniz, when can we buy it? When can we throw more money at you? When I want to take my money, Moonness. Take my money. I need it. I need it. I need it. Would be pretty cool to sell it as an engine. Yeah, that would be cool. What's going on here? Why won't anything build? .NET build. I know I got errors. Okay, there it goes. Now it's loading. Maybe when the game is done. Okay, so this is telling me that I need to have a type. Yeah, iSkilled character requires a character type. Yeah, so this would be of character. So skills, what is this saying? Interface, this has to have a get. So on our character, we need to know what skills the character has. What kind of games do you like? This is such an interesting question because I feel like I like almost all games. Let me start by saying I like board games. I like board games and card games. I need to get it. All my games don't fit here. I need to get another shelf, but I like board games. I like card games. So if you didn't know, the captain likes board games and card games. Love them. I do Dungeons and Dragons. I like tabletop games. I'm often, so I love RPGs, but I can't play. They take up so much time. Snabble, that's exactly how I feel. I don't have enough time to do all the things. I own more games than I have time to play. I love board games. I love games that I have to think in a lot of the times. Tetris is one of my favorite games. Maybe I should do Tetris on stream sometime. I love Tetris. At one point, I was a semi-competitive Tetris player. That said, in the United States, you can be pretty competitive in Tetris and still be ranked not in the top 1,000 in the world. In the United States, it's hard to be competitive. Big G says, ever play Hero Quest? I love Hero Quest. I loved Hero Quest growing up. I have a game back here called Dragon Strike. So this is a game that came after Hero Quest. Hero Quest was a little bit too hard for some people. Dragon Strike is a game designed to teach people about Dungeons and Dragons and get people pulled into the Dungeons and Dragons world. So this is sort of like the it's more campaign based than Hero Quest. Hero Quest was like about random dungeons, that sort of stuff. I loved Hero Quest. Strategy games. So I tend to like turn-based stuff. Lance, welcome home, my friend. I tend to like turn-based stuff. I like games that make me think. I like RPGs. I don't get to play RPGs as much anymore because they tend to. I get so drawn in and obsessed with learning every little detail of the game. So games like Skyrim, Breath of the Wild was awesome, but I like going through and discovering everything, reading the codexes, and I spend hundreds of hours playing them, and I just don't have that kind of time these days. It's sad. It makes me sad. So I tend to stick to games that have as far as computer games goes or video games. I'm gonna love your game, Dramo, because I'm gonna love your game. I won't have time to play it. I won't have time to play. I like games that I can sit down and play for 30 minutes to an hour, because that's about how much time I have to play games these days at a time, right? 30 minutes to an hour. I love old classic RPGs though. They'll always have a place in my heart. The Forgotten Realms games, Baldur's Gate. I loved the Baldur's Gate series. Icewind Dale was one of my favorite games. Final Fantasy Tactics is one of my favorite games. I replayed that game back in August, loved it. Legends of Grimrock 1 and 2, both fantastic games. Myst, I like puzzle games. Ooh, I love me a good puzzle game. So I like all sorts of games. It's hard for me to say I love racing games. Racing games are games I can sit down and play for 15 to 30 minutes and just enjoy the heck out of them. So good question. For such a good question, who asked me that? HT Kage, thank you for asking, because it's always nice to reminisce on that. HT Kage, 50 points to you. Thank you for asking. What a good question. Thank you. But that puzzle game looks awesome. Oh, I love platforms. I love really, really hard platform games that kick your butt. So Super Meat Boy was one of my favorite games. I really, really like the Dark Souls games. For some reason, I didn't like Bloodborne. I really wanted to, but I couldn't get into it. I really like all of the Dark Souls games. 1, 2, and 3, and Demon Souls. I loved Demon Souls. Speaking of Dark Soul games, I don't know if Code Rad Games is here, but Code Rad Games, folks, is making a amazing game. He's developing a horrifying 2D Souls-like game, Rogue Blight. You got to be sure to wishlist it, folks. On the screen here, you're checking out a video of me getting destroyed by this gorilla in Rogue Blight, an incredible game. If you like a game that chews you up, spits you out, and leaves you begging for more, that's Rogue Blight by Code Red Games. Be sure to give him a follow, folks. Be sure to hit that little heart. Code Red Games, awesome developer, awesome streamer, streams almost every day. Give him some love, folks. Then go check out that Steam page and you gotta wish list it, because Game of the Year 2024, folks, Indie Game of the Year. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. Love the game. It's coming together. HK says, I thought Bloodborne was overrated. That, I couldn't get into it. I felt like you shouldn't force yourself to play a game, right? I forced myself to play it for like 8 hours because I'm like, it's gonna get better. And then I couldn't. I forced myself to play it for 8 hours. I couldn't get into it. I've tried a couple times too. HE Cox says, one of my other games is pretty Super Meat Boy inspired. I'll have to show you. Please do. Yeah, please do. And if you can, post it on the Discord. You don't have to join the Discord. Folks, if you didn't know, we do have a Discord. No pressure to join, but we got a nice little community over there on Discord that is growing. It's fun. It's a great place to learn to code, asking for help. Everyone, you got so many people helping each other out here, sharing your projects. Please share your work in these spots. I created a game forum, other projects. If you're a streamer, post your stream information. I'd love to check out what everyone else is doing here. This is a community for you. This is a community for you to grow and code and do all sorts of cool stuff. So thank you all so much for being here to do it. No, look, if you don't want, look, I'm on 90 different Discords too. I get it. I'm on 90 different Discords. So it's hard to get into them, but if you want a place where you can learn to code and grow and, share your work, consider joining the Discord. I'd love to have you there. MXSamQQ, what a cool name. Hello, have you ever done a tutorial for turn-based combat on a grid much like Dofus game? I haven't. I'm not sure what Dofus is. Dofus. I'm gonna look off screen real quick. I'm assuming that's an okay thing. Grid-based combat is something I'd love to do as well. Just so everyone knows, Captain Coder is not a game developer. Captain Coder is a software engineer. More than I used to, a recovering software engineer. I'm a computer science teacher at a school for ages 10 to 14, but I love this. Ooh, this looks cool. This looks like, yes, I would love to do something like this. I've never heard of this game. This game looks super beautiful and isometric grid-based stuff. I would love to do something like that. That's a project. No interest in making a full game project someday. I have, so Ashikage, I wasn't until I did the marble game. We did the marble game and I'm like super into it. MXSam, if you want to, we have a project suggestion. We do a new project. So one of the things, we do a new project every week here at Captain Coders Academy. Every week, sometimes they take a little longer. We might end up this one seems like it might push into next week. 1 to 2 weeks is how long the projects go. A grid-based turn-based combat would be awesome. I would love if someone wanted to suggest it, maybe you could hop onto the Discord in the suggested project. The reason we're doing a skill tree here is it got suggested. And I thought this was a cool idea and it sort of fit the theme of what I was going with. So feel free to suggest it. I'd love to check it out. There's a lot of intricacies to that. So it says like, how can we define that down, scope it down to a project that we could do in a week? Maybe 2 weeks. But yeah, I'd love to do it. Ichikage, a full game project, I do. I actually, this marble game, Crazy Marble. This is a game we made on stream. Crazy Marble. We made this game on stream in 13 days, maybe 12 days. Was it 12 or 12 days we made this game? And this is a game, I want to make a Marble RPG. I want to make the Skyrim of Marble games. I have so many ideas in the works for this. Let's check it out real quick, just so people can see what Crazy Marble is. A rough. It's way too hard. It needs to be tuned down a little bit. I think my controls are not inverted right. But this is a game where I wanted to learn about physics in Unity, so we made this in about 12 days. All right, so I want to learn about physics, the physics system in Unity. So we build a little marble game. All right, so I learned how to do controller controls, doing the physics-based stuff. But you're avoiding obstacles in this game. I have an idea for a platforming RPG game that I want to do. Oh no, in this. So NVIDIA physics. So Unity has three or four different types of physics systems. The default 3D physics uses an engine called NVIDIA physics. There's also data-driven physics. There's box physics, which is what their 2D system uses, but the data-driven physics is more for doing like simulations. And I think there's a fourth one, I don't quite remember. So NVIDIA physics is the default one. And so I wanted to explore doing actual physics, using the physics system to make a game. And so we made Crazy Marble. So Hikage, before this, I did not feel like I wanted to make a full game, but I have a bunch of ideas for a marble RPG. Dramox, that's right. The first one is PhysX. The fourth one is PhysX. It was very much inspired by Marble Madness. Absolutely. I had so much fun making it. I've been secretly working on it a little bit in the background, in my free time. HKX, there's a lot of concepts that can be fast to make. Not all games need to take like 2 years. I know. And so I have some ideas. I'm not going to say too much about it, but I have some ideas for turning it into a thing. That's right, Dramos. 2 years, that's nothing. 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. That's how long it takes to make a real project, Dramos. That's right. I see a lot of people making MMOs on their Twitch streams, like solo MMO projects. I'm like, good luck. I really do mean good luck. Wish you all the luck to it. All right, so this is an iSkill node of character here. So I don't know. I think character, maybe this is the right way to do it here. But the idea is we're gonna say that also that in addition, our character needs to. Full Snob says the software project I am working on is currently 45 years. So software, I've worked on software that's old for like a solo game project to get to release. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. So we're gonna say character where character here needs to implement the iSkilled character. All right, so iSkilled character. This is interesting. I don't know how I feel if this is the right way to do this. Orphan, welcome to the crew. Orphan X, I welcome you to Captain Coder's Academy. Orphan X, I would like to welcome you today to Captain Coder's Academy. Welcome, Orphan X, I'd like to welcome you. Welcome, Orphan X, you are now a part of the crew. Orphan X, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Happy Monday. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. The New Dawn Dev, you are also welcomed to the crew. The New Dawn Dev, I'd like to welcome you. Welcome to the crew. The New Dawn Dev is here, yes. New Dawn Dev, I'd like to welcome you today. New Dawn Dev, thank you for the follow, my friend. Happy Monday. So nice to have you here. For anyone who doesn't know, I am Captain Coder. Oops, that was the wrong button. I am Captain Coder. Captain Coder is me, and me is a computer science programming teacher. I teach computer science. I'm a computer science educator, folks. I work at a school for ages 10 to 14, but we are here on stream as a crew, learning and coding and growing together. Each week we try and do a new project. This week we're taking on building a skill tree system here. It doesn't always have to be Unity related and C# related, but that just happens to be the kick we're on so far. And so we're working on implementing a skill tree here, seeing if we can get it done. But welcome aboard. Happy to have you here. How the heck are you too? Welcome aboard. Welcome. So we got some problems. We got to fix these compilation errors. That said, backseat coding, highly encouraged the backseat coding. And any questions you might have, do not hesitate to ask. Just keep them family friendly. I want this stream to be approachable by anyone here. I'd like everyone to feel welcome. But thank you so much for being here. I wouldn't be, if it weren't for you beautiful folks out there, Captain Coders Academy would not exist. All right, so we're building now. We're trying to define all of our sets here. So our skilled character has a skill, a set of skills, okay? And they're not associated with a skill tree, so to speak, I think, is that the skill tree has a root and it sort of has these nodes in it. Just to specify the start, but if we say hash set has skill, we can check whether or not they have acquired this. So this is the skill that they have. Okay, so this is a set of skills that this character happens to have. And using that, I think we can check whether or not, so that could be part of the requirement. So it has a children like this. Sneaky Breeks, I'd like to welcome you. We got Sneaky Breeks in our midst. We got a sneaky Breeks in the crew. I'd like to welcome you. Sneaky Breeks, you are part of the crew now today. Yeah, we got Sneaky Breeks. We got a sneaky Breeks in our crew now. And the captain thanks you for the follow. We got the Sneaky Breeks. Sneaky Breeks, welcome aboard, my friend. Thank you so much for the follow. Happy Monday, my friend. Welcome aboard. How the heck are you? What brings you to Captain Coders Academy today? I'm so happy you're here. You don't have to answer. If you're shy, no worries. If you're just not feeling like chatting, if you're lurking, no biggie. I'm just always curious. Welcome aboard, my friend. Happy to have you here. All right. So I think we're doing okay in this regard. Let me think. Does this... At a glance, this is feeling like I have all of the things I need. So the skill characters need to sort of like have skills associated with it. Pusher says, if you're shy, too bad, you just got a song. That's right. Well, I just want to celebrate you. I get so excited. I don't know when I started singing. I think anyone before follower like 300, 400 didn't get a song. So I apologize to you if you didn't get a song when you joined. But I've just been so excited. One day I just started singing. I couldn't help myself. I got so excited. Fun fact, Captain Coder went to school to be a music teacher, not a computer science teacher, but music didn't quite work out so well. The computer science stuff just got too exciting for me. So I love singing. I love music. I love, being creative. It's fun time for me, folks. In a lot of ways, I think programming and music are similar in the idea of like the creation of something. You're composing something. And you want to share, not always want to share with the world, sometimes you share it yourself, but sharing that with the world is just something that's so fun for me. Okay, so our skill tree has a root. This is almost something like, maybe we don't need a whole skill tree, but I'm going to start here with a root here, and this means that we have specific characters that we do it. It's all math related. That's interesting. Music theory books tend to, yes, there's a lot of math involved in music. You can do a lot of mathematical style analysis. There are old books. So when I was a music major, we did this Counterpoint. Counterpoint was one of these really interesting old music topics that was like fake mathematical. It's like fake math. It says things like, well, when, you cannot drop, so a note cannot jump, so you can't go from a high pitch to a low pitch without then ascending to a pitch in between. So there's like these laws that define how music needs to sound. And it's not because of the frequency. It's not because of anything. And it's because of gravity. They say it's because of gravity. Just like if you were to jump off of something tall, you'd have to bend your knees before you can come back up. It's a very weird logic in some of this music stuff. So it's math, yes, at its core underneath, you can analyze it that way. Yeah, so I should get that book. I think I have it in another room somewhere. But I remember all of these rules were like so bizarre and weird. Like, it has nothing to do with gravity. What are you talking about? But that was like part of the theory, a part of the book of these rules, why the music has to work this way. When you have harmonies playing in this specific way, it has to do with like the way love works. Weird things, really, really weird things of like two lovers wouldn't intermingle in such a way. When you add in a fourth voice, it's weird stuff. So I remember just reading this book and I'm like, why is this book assigned in a university course? It's so bizarre. But I guess it was sort of like the de facto counterpoint book for like four voice harmony. Is a weird book. I thought all the rules were weird. Okay. I digest, folks. We're gonna move forward. I digest on that. Okay. Are we able to define all of our things in this way? Let's see if we can write a little implementation using these. Using these interfaces, do we have enough to define our skill tree? I don't think we do yet. Okay, so we have one other thing here where we have to say, that's right, the implementation, the requirement. My idea is that one of the requirements is we're going to automatically, when we add a child to a node, we're going to automatically add that requirement to the child's list. That is one of the things I want to be able to do. Is this list here as well. I'm a little bit of a stickler as far as like return types. One of the, we don't want to be able to modify this outside of the skill. I almost want to make this a read-only list. Can we do read-only lists? We make this a read-only list so no one can modify it. Is it an I read-only list? There we go. I'm going to say that requirements, when you get this thing out, you can't modify the contents of it. The requirements need to be sort of set ahead of time. Fuel Snabel. So I say your name different every time. I apologize, my friend. If there's a specific way to pronounce it, just let me know. Some say programming is the hardest format. I think, it's an abstract reasoning. So it falls into a category that is often, I think it falls into something called discrete mathematics. And so it's not like, traditional school math. We're doing algebra and arithmetic, that sort of stuff. One van, welcome to the crew. One van, thank you for the follow. My friend, you are now in Captain Coder's Academy, where we learn and code and grow together in perfect harmony. Not always in perfect harmony, but we try. One van, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Welcome aboard. Happy Monday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. Wherever you happen to be in the world, welcome to the crew, my friend. Welcome aboard. I'm so pleased you're here. If you didn't know it, Captain Coder is a computer science educator. My whole goal here is to provide a community that can learn and code and grow together. We try and do a new project every week. This week, we're doing a skill tree. We're seeing if we can get a skill tree in 6 days. I can stream 6 days. I can't stream on Friday this week. Work stuff on Fridays. It's going to prevent me from streaming. But we'll be here Monday through Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, trying to get this skill tree system working. And so we're here sort of defining it out there. If you have any questions, program related or otherwise, do not hesitate to ask. Just keep them family friendly. And what's the last thing I said? Oh, backseat coding is encouraged. Please, backseat code. Let me know. So I'm going to write some basic implementations of this to see if we can satisfy, like, what would the interface look like to satisfy this skill tree? Can we do it with just this interface? We can't quite do it because we're missing like add and remove node stuff, but I think that's okay because we'll have like the interface doesn't care about that. I almost don't even think we need the skill tree thing here. But we're going to find out. We might just need a skill node and you have like different node. that show up in there. We might have like a name for our skill tree, I suppose, and then that would be like the root node here. Much easier when the name has 3 syllables. What do you mean much easier? To sing a song? I think I could sing a song with 2 syllables there. Yeah. So here we go. I'm sorry if your song was the song not so great. Was the song not good enough for you, Juan Van? Do you need a better song? Juan Van, I'd like to welcome you to the crew. Yes, Juan Van. I hope you're ready for the crew. Do. Juan Van is with us and you wouldn't know why. I don't know if you are or not such a shy guy, Mr. Juan Van, I'd like to welcome you to the crew. How was that? Was that better, Juan Van? No one else is in the office. Gotta clip it. I guess you gotta clip it and share it with them later. I hope Juan Van, I just assumed your gender there. I apologize if that was incorrect. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, just let me know. Gonna have to send that to the wife. All right, my friend. I'm glad I made your day, Captain Coder's Academy. We're here. We want to make people welcome and feel welcome. So if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, getting wrong, correct me. Please correct me. I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable here. This is a place for us to, grow as a community and enjoy each other's presence. So thank you for being here. All right, so I was gonna try and put together a little like a short implementation to see if I can do everything I want to do with these. So I think I want to see if I can do that with a simple implementation. So we're gonna go with a simple skill node. Okay, so we're gonna have a simple skill node here. And our simple skill node, let's go with namespace CaptainCoder.skillTree. Public class simple skill node implements iSkill node. So the reason I like doing this, character, and then I say where character implements iSkilled character of character. This is super weird. So something doesn't feel quite right here. One of the reasons I like using this interface is it says, well, all of this stuff is going to work. And if you really want to not use my implementation of it, you can write your own subclass implementation of this interface, and it should work fine with all my tooling. That's the idea here, is it should work fine with all my tooling if you want to implement your own implementation of it. But let's look here. Let's make it so that we have I'm going to make my name in this explicit one here have a get and a init. Can we require? Is required a thing we can do? Required. Ooh, required is a thing we can do in our, although it seems to be generate overrides. What is the error here? What is the actual error? Missing compiler required member. Oh, we have to do something special to get required in there. I think we can do required though. I'm gonna look at that in a second. All right, so the idea though is you can specify the name. We want you to have to, I want it to be a required specification though. All right, description, same thing. We have a get init like this. For our requirements, this one's a little trickier. So we're gonna have an under the hood. We're gonna have a private list of iSkill node of character dot requirement. These are our this is gonna be our internal requirements. These are implementation lists. We're gonna do a new list like this. Okay, these are internal requirements. And the read-only list, this thing is just gonna be a wrapper with a read-only. Can we do read-only? I read-only list dot. Is there a way I can do that? Can I just do requirements like this? There we go. This isn't quite what we want. Someone could cast this back to a list and modify it. Let me look up I read-only list C#. How do I instantiate one of these? Because this is an interface. There should be a subclass under the hood. read-only collection. Can I do a read-only collection? What library is this in? What will their rap name be? Little IT. That's right. It's gonna be a rapper. It's gonna be a rapper. I think I can do new read-only collection. Is this a thing I can do? Where does this come from? It's read-only collection. So folks, I've been learning C#, not super long. Can I do that? Read-only list. Can I not do that? Is there not a read-only? All right, hang on. How do I construct? What are the implementing classes? Represents a read-only type parameters, remarks, properties, methods, examples. Where are examples? I need to know. Or I want it to come from list. iRead-only collection interface. I want to find the subclass. iRead-only list. Read-only set. Is this? No. Oh, hang on. This isn't in standard 2.1. Oh, it is. You can cast it to just a list. I promise you that you can. The reason I know that is because the book I've been reading a technical manual here. I've been reading this book. Maybe I should just look it up in here. In this book, it says, don't do this because they can just cast it to a regular list and it'll work. So you actually have to put it inside of a wrapper class. Let's see. Sir Black Soul, thank you for sending that to me. I don't think as list exists in the, let's see, generic here. As read only. Okay. I don't think as read only. Beautiful. Dramox, C# in a nutshell, and it's 1,000 pages. No, it's not 1,000 pages. It's 1,041 pages. Not 1,000 pages. It's 1,041 pages. Sir Black Soul, thank you, my friend. Sir Black Soul, for your contributions, 50 points to you. Thank you so much for that link. So this is gonna make it so now I can't cast it. Sir Black Soul, some nutshells are bigger than others. Yeah, sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you are. Elite Stormstrike says 1,041 pages. You could use that as a weapon. Sir Black Souls, the read-only list behaves different than a read-only variable. Exactly. It doesn't provide all of the same benefits. In fact, it just sort of lets you index and enumerate through it, which is what I want. It's sort of what I want. It's at the end of the day, we're going to do a thing where we say, oh, it meets requirements. I don't know. Do you meet requirements? Yes, we can check whether or not we do. Meet some requirements. But at the end of the day, when you access this, I don't want you to be able to change the requirements outside of the implementation. That's the main idea, is once you have a skill node, that skill node has those values set. That's my idea, at least. And maybe that's dumb. Maybe some people don't like that. Biggie says, okay, I implemented VS Code. Some of the snippets are weird. I don't like the Unity snippets. Sir Black Soul says, still would rather prefer to work with IEnumerable as an interface for passing the list. iRead-only list also implements IEnumerable. So the one, let's see, should I make it an IEnumerable? This is a good question, Sir Black Soul. Maybe this shouldn't be a read-only list and it should be an IEnumerable. That might be a better, so maybe IEnumerable is the right way to go here. Full Snobel says, I don't trust IEnumerables. Why not? They're fantastic. IEnumerables are fantastic. So if we did it that way, this would be an IEnumerable like that. We could still do it this way. They might return different results if you iterate twice. Well, if you want it to be exactly once, you want an iterator. Should you be careful about IA sync? Did I do an IA sync enumerable? Yeah, so the idea is that IEnumerable can return, but that's okay. That's okay if it returns. So could my read-only list. So could my read-only list here. One benefit of the read-only list is that we have indexability. You can index into it quickly. One thing about an iRead-only list, we can also check the count of it more directly. So we know for sure. So the reason that iRead-only list is maybe a little bit better is we explicitly have the ability of knowing that it's a list and not just something that iterates over. And so if you want to, you could do something where you know the indices of it and which skill is where. So I think I like it as a read-only list because it's indexable. It's indexable. I think this gives us more. I don't know if that's right. Big G says, I don't know any of these things. That's okay. That's why we're here to, so you don't know what you don't know until you know it, Or is that too many no's? But that's sort of how I feel about it. I think I like it as an iRead-only list because this ends up being a view of the requirements. I don't know now. Now I'm not sure. Yeah, this is a good question. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. That said, I can do things like this now, though, where it says I bool meets requirement. Meets requirement if we take in a character ch, right? We can have a default implementation of meets requirement. Meets requirements, or maybe we call it check requirements. Like this, and then we do a for each requirement rec in requirements rec.meets requirement ch like this, and we say if it does not meet it, return false, otherwise return true. SirLexel, since requirement has a getter only, it will not change externally anyway. For this, it requires a setter. No, you're that's not quite right, Sir Black Soul. If I do an iRead-only list, I actually get what's called a view into the list. So if the list changes internally, the outside list changes as well. That's one of the reasons I kind of want to use read-only lists. Is if somehow you have something that changes internally, you won't need to enumerate over it the whole thing. I think Lance says, okay, home safe and sound. I was thinking about the marble game, so it'd be a true role-playing game. That's exactly that's the punchline. That's the like subtitle of the game, a role-playing game. Yeah. So I'm not sure if this makes sense or not, but basically if you have a set of requirements, then this thing becomes implemented for you pretty easily. Given a character, we can check whether or not that character meets the requirements for this skill. So this is like a default implementation we can add to it. Pusher says, yeah, I think creating that check requirement method makes more sense than you don't have to worry about what you are exposing. Exactly. We still want to know what the requirements are so we can display that information, but you don't need to be able to edit this outside. Fuel Snabel says, by the way, I like collection abstractions. Have been tinkering a lot with those in F#, which thanks to being able to inline lambdas give you very performant abstractions. Nice. Yeah, we're at 64 minutes. Unfortunately, I got to go in 10 minutes because my new work schedule. Unfortunately, I got to go in 10 minutes, maybe 15, maybe a little bit longer. So I don't have a bunch of time here, but I'm feeling pretty confident in this definition, in this interface definition here. We might have to massage it a little bit, but this initial definition feels pretty good. So we'd have a requirements like this, but the simple skill node provides a way to modify it. So you can like build out these things. Either that or we make it so that we have a public simple skill. Yeah. So it can be modified in this way. I don't actually think I need a constructor, but instead we have this children internally. Okay. Sorry. Private list internally. We also have an iSkill node of character called children, like this. So internally, we also have a list of the children, like this. And this is just gonna return to us children as enumerable. So we're gonna get the enumerator of those children. Can I not do that? Why returns the input typed as enumerable? Do I have to do iSkill? Do I really need that there? Or is it as enumerable like this? What does this say? returns this, which is what we want. Oh, I think it just forces me to put this type on the end. I thought it would be able to infer it. Oh, no, it doesn't work. The iNewRule, iSkilled, oh, skill node of character. There we go. Children is of type iSkilled character. Thank you. Sire cries a lot. Thank you so much, my friend. Sire cries a lot. 50 points for you to seeing that mistake. Those eagle eyes out there, Sire. Thank you so much for your contributions. I appreciate you. So I actually don't need that. All right. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, our children are the nodes that come off of this thing. This is going to have our simple skill node's going to let us add in. So I think this, we want to be able to add a child to the tree. All right, so we'll have a method here. That says public void add child. Okay, and this is going to take an iSkill node of a skill node for characters. I should probably change character to just be type T. I hate having to type it out. This is going to be a new child that we add. Okay, and we're going to add this to our children. So it'll be children.add child, like that. The other thing we want to do is I want to add a requirement that says, well, you have to have the skills of any child. So this child that we're going to do here, this underlying child, we need to be able to add in. Oh, this is interesting. When we add the child's requirements need to be able to get updated to include so in this case, I think I want to do we can add a child that is just a simple skill node. So these skill nodes are sort of like compatible, is that right? Add a skill node. I'm gonna have to think about this. I'm gonna have to think about it a little bit. Because we need to be able to add a requirement. Either that or I need to add into the interface that we can set, like add a requirement to it. Because what I want to do is I want to have another type called like skill requirement. I'm gonna put it here just for now and I'll put it into another file in a moment. But I want a requirement called has skill requirement. And this is gonna be an iSkill skill node of character dot requirement. Okay, so it's gonna be this interface. And essentially all it's gonna do is we're gonna have on it, when we construct this thing, we're gonna have a public public iSkill of character. iSkill node of character. Requirements, required skill, like this. We're gonna make this be an init. You have to initialize this value. We'll figure out how to add the required in there relatively soon. I can't remember the details of it. There's a little trick I have to do to get it in there. But meets requirement, essentially all it's gonna do is say character.skills.contains required skill. So we have this little wrapper here that when we add a child to this thing, we're gonna say also child dot underline requirements dot add new has skill requirement on this. So when you add a child to this tree, why are you complaining? Does not contain a constructor with one another. Sorry. We got to do required skill equals this, like that. Okay. So we're going to say that when you add a child to this skill node, that child gains the requirement that you have to have this parent node. So that's one of the things that we defined in our design document was if you're a child of two things, you're required to have both of those things to get it. So this should satisfy that requirement. So I think this works in that way. That said, do I want to... Sorry, mid-sentence, folks. I had to drink some coffee. My coffee made me do it. My coffee in my body was like, I need it. I need that dark fuel. I think this makes sense. The one thing I'm unsure about is whether or not I want this node to exist this way. And so I'm actually thinking that I might need a class. I might need to use the builder pattern here. I might want to use the builder pattern here to enforce this idea of immutability. I'm a big fan of immutable types. I'm a big fan of immutable types. It eliminates a class of bug that is very easy to write. So if I implement this as an immutable type, we're good. This means that it's not immutable anymore. And to do it though as an immutable type, I might use the builder pattern because it feels like building a tree is relatively complex and says like, well, we can add sort of like these non-complete structures, and at the end of the day, you solidify it. And I think that's what we're going to end up doing tomorrow. That said, I'm pretty satisfied here with the interfaces we've defined. And we may massage it a little bit at that point, but that was our third goal for today. Seems good. That's right, sire, it does seem good. Thank you for the seems good. Oh, no, Revere, thank you for the seems good. Not sire there. Revere, that's right, it does seem good. Fuel says, hasn't the withers in C# meant the build patterns not so needed anymore? What is withers? I'm not sure. Withers C#. Instead, we'll have withers or reconstructors. I haven't heard of this. So for what it's worth, I'm super new. No. So that is specifically for record types. Gotcha. You're referring to widths with records types. I want this to be truly immutable. Technically, that's still immutable, but I want it to sort of solidify down into an essential class. You're right that withers doesn't necessarily need to exist, but there's this level of I want to do. Let me show you an example. Let me show you an example of what I want to do with my builder class. I did it before on this other project, the Adventure Quest prototype. I've done it in a handful of projects, but I think this deserves something similar to this. Let's go to our models. I know it is lenses in C#. It is lenses. I'm on the wrong branch. Develop branch. So it's more along the lines of my equipment. Armor. Do I have an armor builder? I think so. I think armor has a builder in it. No, it doesn't. Where is my builder type? One sec. I know I did it for sure in loot. Okay. So my loot table. Was it really not here? Loot. Where did was it in my, okay, so let's go to entity then. Enemies. Okay. So the main thing is I want to be able to do something like this. So this is everything that's necessary to define a slime enemy in this game. And I'm sorry for the white mode blinding you there probably. The builder lets me sort of change. There's so much information needed to build a slime that it doesn't necessarily make sense to have a giant constructor and all these separate things. So I'll have a builder type that lets me easily compose these things together with optional types. And I think for our skill tree, a builder makes sense just from the standpoint of like putting together and then, solidifying. You call the build method to get an instance of that skill tree, and you can like give each character a different instance of the skill tree if you need to. You can make minor modifications for different users. I think the builder pattern makes sense on this one from a coding standpoint, making it easy to read and write. I hope that makes sense, Snabble. That said, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before, but yeah, with pattern, I don't think satisfies the ease of use I'm looking for from a programming standpoint. That said, folks, we are essentially out of time. Unfortunately, I got work here in 45 minutes, so I gotta stop here so I can eat some breakfast, prep myself for my class, and get to it. We will be back tomorrow, though. Oh, hang on, real quick. We did finish this last task. Start interface definitions. I think we have a good start to them. We sort of started playing around a little bit with the implementation. We'll be back tomorrow to finish working on this. Same time. tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern, folks. 8 a.m. Eastern time. Captain shall return, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really, really excited about this project. Let's do a commit. We're gonna add this, git status, git commit. Same bat channel, same bat time, same bat channel. That's exactly right. This is a work in progress. Provide initial interfaces. All right, we'll push that up. Let's go up to our core project. We gotta tag this for day one. Git status, git add git commit dash m chore end of day one. Git tag end of day one. Git push. And then we're gonna push our tag up to git push dash u origin end of day one. There we go. All right, so it's all up on GitHub. I'll be writing a blog entry for this, hopefully later today, maybe not, but we'll be back tomorrow, same bat place, same bat time. Thank you everybody for joining me here on this beautiful Monday. Let's see if we can find someone. Let's see who we're gonna raid today. Dramolks, thank you for that. Swiggly Woo, it looks like we're gonna go raid. Oh, I thought you were saying Clayman was on. Clayman wasn't on today. That makes me sad. I usually check him out in the morning. Let's see here. Let's see. You're welcome, MMPO. Happy to give you the stream. We're gonna go Kuvaman. What's Kuvaman working on? How long has Kuvaman been going? Kuvaman has been going here for, maybe we find someone new too. Almost 6 hours. We're gonna find someone who hasn't been going quite so long. Thinking maybe too much tomato, but let's see if we got someone else. Any suggestions for someone? I want to keep it in game dev. If possible, maybe Unity game dev. That said, that's not entirely necessary. Let's look at game development. Let's see who's on doing game development. Why is there no one on doing it? I know the people doing game development. Game dev. There we go. Game dev. We got Tim Bidet. Tim Bidet is good. Working on Inevitable Greenery. That sounds interesting. 2D sci-fi roguelite. Chill Dev. Let's go see Chill Dev. I think that's who we're gonna raid. That looks cool. Let's see how long they went. Most of the game devs I follow that are online are French right now. Gotcha. Yeah, sometimes I end up accidentally raiding some of the chat seems to be in English. They're doing Unreal stuff. They've been going only for an hour. Hour and 45. Let's go check them out. This looks cool. We're gonna go check out Chill Dev. I haven't seen them before, but let's do it. Chill Dev, folks. As always, everybody, keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. As always, you are welcome back anytime. I appreciate you being here. It's been a beautiful, beautiful morning. Had such a blast. Take care of yourself. I'll see you tomorrow.
Right, new widget.